Sometimes I feel like a pharmacist.
I'd say John and the kids are adjusting pretty well.
They honestly have no idea what I'm going through.
It can be a little challenging.
Help.
But so far, so good.
I could really use just a little help.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers for advice, tips, and support. Together, let's help each other better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's your money. And this is your Wake Up Call Market Report on News Radio 1120, KPNW.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. The latest snapshot of consumer prices shows the cost of living in the U.S., excluding food and fuel, rose in January by the most in 4 years. The so-called core consumer price measure rose 0.3%, more than forecast, and the most since August 2011. In the 12 months ending with January, the core index advanced 2.2% from a year earlier, the most since June of 2012. Yahoo is up 2.6% in pre-market trading, with news that it's hired financial advisors and formed a committee of independent board members to explore its strategic options. CEO Marissa Mayer has faced increased scrutiny from activist investors after struggling to boost sales. But shares of Deere are moving lower before the open. The world's biggest agricultural equipment maker cut its full-year forecasts amid a weaker outlook for farmers. And stock index futures are declining, with oil down 2.6% to under $30 a barrel. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Josh loves Dr. Well, if things have gone upside down for
now you have to do a Guarantee jingle.
Well, I don't. Does Guarantee even have a jingle?
That's my point. You create one right now. Come on, you.
Guarantee discount Chevrolet dealer. They're gonna give you the loan. How's that?
I like it.
How's that? Thank you very much off the top of my head. You know, Guarantee, of course, is paying for this. Anyway, that said. All right, so the whole deal is that sometimes you have financial problems, and then when you're trying to dig your way out of the financial problem, your car breaks down, or it gets stolen, or whatever, and you have to replace it. So at issue is trying to get credit so that you can get a new car. Well, at Guarantee Discount Chevrolet, they have the Good People Bad Credit Program, and they can help get you into a car in 48 hours or less and help you reestablish your credit. Call them, Guarantee Discount Chevrolet, 541-998-2333. That's 541-998-2333. Guarantee Discount Chevrolet.
Super Serving the 15. The Wake Up Call. Mornings, 6 to 9 a.m. Please clap. On News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I like that. Nice.
628.
Nice.
Nothing that you'll be able to play in like a year, because people will be like,
What does that mean?
What is that all about?
I don't get it.
Probably 70% of the people that heard it too are like, please clap, I don't get it. All right, so windy, rainy, and it's kind of a sandwich, because you have kind of the nice Saturday in the middle. At least one of your days is pleasant. I mean, that's all you really need, right? I mean, it'd be great to have two, but come on, it's late February, looking at spring still out there. Milepost 91 still working the crash. Northbound lanes are affected, or at least one of them is. Got a little bit of a delay there, 7 miles south of Canyonville. So if you're headed up I-5, be on the lookout for that. Everything else, we'll just say maybe some standing water here and there, maybe a little slick out there, but other than that, how was downtown Philomath today when you ventured off? You go through downtown?
No.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Corvallis?
No. I bypass both of them.
Because you have the hovercraft, right? You just kind of go straight.
Right. The chopper. As I take the chopper in, I bypass both of them. So I couldn't tell you how they are.
Okay.
I would imagine probably damp.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Thank you for asking about how Corvallis and Philomath are faring. I'm sure that collectively those folks are, oh, well, thank you, Rob. That's very, very thoughtful.
Hey, we have...
Even though, of course, when you talked about the Civil War, you automatically said go Ducks, as opposed to being objective about it and saying good luck to the best team. But, okay.
Wouldn't that be the same thing?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Thieves have already beaten them once.
Oh, sure. Not much on the sports knowledge except when it comes to the Ducks' demise. He doesn't know anything about any of the except Beavers beat him last time. Yeah, handedly in Corvallis, like right off the start, where everybody's all anticipatory. You're anxious on the edge of your seat, and the Ducks did not put it together. Amtrak. Do we want to talk about the adventure at all? Well, we got potentially at somebody's disposal an adventure up there in the PDX.
So here's what we're going to do, and we'll give it away a little bit later on. We're going to nominate somebody by giving that lucky individual some other random prize. We'll spin the random prize wheel. Do we still have that little? Oh, there it is.
This?
That is awesome. Here, pass that over here. Okay, this is a. Okay. This is a bonus for those of you watching on the stream. This is the most awesome prize wheel ever. It looks like something out of the Flintstones. Doesn't it? Doesn't it look like something that you would see on the Flintstones? It is awesome. Anyway, we're going to give somebody a prize a little bit later on, and then that person will be qualified to potentially win a trip for two on Amtrak Cascades up to Portland, to the Portland International Film Festival. We're going to give them a couple of $100 of Shiloh certificates so they can hang out up in PDX. And it's all courtesy of KPNW and Amtrak Cascade, where they want me to remind you, if you travel between Portland and Eugene and anywhere in between on Amtrak Cascades, and save 30% on fares when you book and travel by May 31st, 2016, visit Amtrak.com, see what happens for details. So they asked that I do that.
KPNW, good morning. Okay.
Oh,
they
see,
probably thought
they're like, oh, it's time for me to call. No, not yet. And of course, if you've won in the last 30 days, as we always say, you need to give somebody else a chance to pull our pants down and take our lunch money.
You say that just about darn near every time you talk about a contest.
I know. Well, that's part of the rules.
Right.
It's written.
So I actually,
on the official rules
I had a
sheet.
Couple of things that I was, and I should have wrote them down, but then I feel like, because I think it's doing the same thing to the country, I feel like the things that I wanted to talk about evaporated and got trumped by one story. And I have a feeling that potentially is going to happen to the state. I'm all for people bettering themselves and trying, like we all are, to pull our selves up to more prosperity. But I wonder, and there's no way that you can quantify, but I wonder how many people and businesses and companies and people that are like, have a bulletin board where like, all right, we want to move to, and Oregon just simply got erased by potential, fairly big companies.
I wouldn't come here. I wouldn't come here to start a business.
Well,
I mean, if I was going to look for a state to move to start a business, it wouldn't be here. This would be one of the last places I would consider. I would go somewhere else.
And I'm thinking that other people with more acumen and more business savvy are going to feel the same way.
So what Rob is obliquely referring to is that yesterday the legislature, once again using the emergency clause, yes, it's an emergency that we pass this minimum wage bill that's not going to go into effect until a couple of years from now.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's an emergency that we pass it. So anyway, I think we all know this ploy. And I'm just going to throw this out here as an aside. Somebody needs to go out and get a hold of the folks that are doing the no more unnecessary emergencies and shake them for doing such a poor job of publicizing the fact that they're trying to get signatures to put an initiative on the ballot to overturn this garbage that's done by the legislature, where they put an emergency designation on every freaking bill so that Oregonians can't challenge it. That's why they do it. It has nothing to do with it being an emergency. They just don't want you to challenge them. My belief is, and I've said this before, that when it comes to things like the minimum wage, the sick leave act, and a couple of other things like that, that it needs to be put in front of the voters.
Without a doubt.
Put it in front of the voters. Let Oregonians decide. Have a vigorous discussion publicly about the bill, about the idea, the concept, and let the people decide. At that point, then both sides have to shut up. Those that are against it, okay, guess what? Passed by the state. Move along. Nothing more to see here. You lost. And if it fails, guess what? You lost. Move along. Nothing else to see here. But no. What's galling about it is the way that, of course, when they don't vet the bill. See, they had a long session a year ago where the issue came up and they punted it, when they could have had several months to publicly at least debate the thing. But now, because it's a short session, let's cram it through where no one will have a chance to really vet the thing. I mean, if you watch any of the news out of Portland or have seen any of it, what you've got is mostly the proponents of the bill plastered all over talking about it, and the opponents, well, kind of marginalized until after the bill passes. Oregonians should have a chance to vote on that. And they can decide collectively if that's what they want. And that gives business, and that gives unions, and that gives government on both sides of the issue, and everybody a chance to go out, put their money on the table, and say, this is what I believe, and this is how it's going to affect people. But no. All right, we've got a break. 637 News Radio, 1120 KPNW.
How big is Rite Aid's Big Point event? Plenty big. The more participating products you buy with Wellness Plus with Plenty, the more Plenty points you earn through February 27th. Earn 2,000 points when you spend $100, another $1,500 when you get to $150, and yet another $1,500 at $200. That's up to 5,000 Plenty points worth at least $50 in savings, only at Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. Earning based on total purchases from $131 to $227.16. Limit 5,000 Plenty points per card. Plenty is a rewards program. Terms and conditions apply. See plenty.com/terms for details.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood, and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, a crashing economy. Are you ready? At best, your local stores have a 3-day supply of food. Will your family have to fight over what's left? Are you willing to gamble your family's safety that it'll never happen to you? Be wise and be ready with 25-year shelf life Wise Food Storage. Wise Food Storage provides affordable, ready-made gourmet meals with a super long 25-year shelf life. Meals like pasta Alfredo, cheesy lasagna, breakfast, dessert, drinks, and snacks. Just add water and your family is eating delicious food instead of fighting for scraps in a food riot. Try it free. Order a no-obligation free sample meal delivered right to your front door. And for a limited time, get a 10% discount and free shipping on all orders. Once done, you're set for 25 years. Be wise and be ready with Wise Food Storage. Call for your free sample now. 800-775-9353. 800-775-9353. 800-775-9353. Local news, local people, Holloway in London, and the Wake Up Call.
I want you to get up now.
On News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Well, Capitol Hill's all abuzz. president saying, I'm going to use my constitutional rights and nominate a Supreme Court justice, and those on the Senate side are saying we may just do the same thing and say, no, we're not going to actually accept this nomination. To get more into the details, political reporter with the National Review, Brendan Bordelon, joining us on the Wake Up Call. Brendan, thanks for being with us this morning. So, what is the latest tack that is being taken on the replacement for Justice Antonin Scalia?
Yeah, well, so Senate Republicans started last weekend as soon as Justice Scalia died. They said, we don't even want President Obama to nominate a justice. That seems extremely unlikely, as the White House has made clear. They are going to end up nominating someone. We don't yet know who or what the kind of the ideological makeup of that person is going to be. When it comes to the Senate Republicans and what they're going to do once that nomination comes down, there has been some back and forth about that this week. So Senator Chuck Grassley, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, he came out early in the week and said, we're not going to be holding a hearing on this. We want to wait until next year for the new president, and no matter who the president nominates, they're not going to get a hearing. He sort of started to backtrack on that this week, as did one or two other senators who are facing re-election this fall. But really, on Thursday, and I think especially today on Friday, we've already seen it. I think we're going to continue to see sort of a hardening of the line on this. Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, has come out and said everybody needs to get on board with this no hearings thing. I think by and large that's what you're seeing. Grassley has now said that it's very unlikely they're going to hold a hearing. So I think regardless who the president nominates, the first big fight is going to be whether they're going to have hearings or not. And I think that's going to drag on for months between Democrats and Republicans in the Senate, and it's probably going to play out in the media and maybe even in some other ways that we really can't foresee as of yet.
All right. Is there any kind of arcane rules in the Senate that would, that Democrats could employ to force some sort of hearings or votes? There always seems like there's some sort of Byzantine maneuver that can be done to try and force someone's hand. Is there anything that anyone has been able to vet that would allow that to happen if the Republicans draw the line and say, no, we're not going to do it?
Yeah, so I think, that obviously the Senate, there's a lot of powers invested in the minority, the power to filibuster and that kind of thing, but that usually happens once something is actually taken to the floor for a vote. Within a committee, the chair is the law, and the Judiciary Committee is the only avenue through which one of these nominees can go through to get a hearing and eventually make it to the floor. If Chuck Grassley, as the chairman, if he decides not to hold a hearing, there's very, very little that Democrats can do, as far as I know. I mean, we could maybe go back and like you said, there does always seem to be some kind of Byzantine maneuver that pops up. But as far as I know, the chairman's word is law on this issue, and if they hold firm, the Democrats are out of luck when it comes to legal remedies. I mean, so one thing they can do, though, is they can obviously go to the media, and I'm sure they will. I mean, there was a conference call that the White House held yesterday that said, with all of its progressive groups and allies, it just said, you guys cannot hold up for a second just hammering the Republicans on this. You have to make it, get out there, tell the American people to demand a hearing. And, I think there's a lot of other things that Harry Reid can do, the Democratic minority leader in the Senate, that he can do to gum up the works on a lot of other issues that Republicans want done. We always talk about how Republicans are obstructing things, holding things hostage, but now I think you're going to see the Democrats do a lot of that, just trying to force the Republicans to get a hearing on this.
Well, in reality, I would say that generally going into an election season, a general election season, that there's not a lot that gets done anyway.
Yeah, so that's usually true, and that's been part of the issue for a long time. But when you go to the House, for a second,
Sure.
Speaker Paul Ryan has made kind of the crowning achievement of his speakership, or what he wants to achieve, is what's called regular order. Spending bills for years have been done in secret behind closed doors with continuing resolutions and other kind of weird, like you said, Byzantine maneuvers to get this stuff through, because it's just been so hard to get the houses to work together. Speaker Ryan has made a deal, or I'm sorry, John Boehner, before Paul Ryan, made a deal with Harry Reid to make sure that these spending bills coming out of the House were going to be passed through the Senate without any major problems. Ryan wants to uphold that. He's made that like a crowning achievement of his speakership. Some people are now telling me that it looks like Harry Reid's going to torpedo that deal because of this hearing holdup. So I think we're going to see this redound in other strange ways, probably outside of the Senate, that maybe weren't initially anticipated, that could end up hurting Republicans in other aspects of Congress.
Yeah, but you made a good point earlier on that that's going to backfire because the Democrats have said so long that the Republicans are obstructionist, and now they get to wear the obstructionist banner and fly the flag of obstructionism.
Yeah, and it's really a question of how the American people respond to what's ultimately going to be a media campaign, right? I mean, both sides are going to accuse the other of obstructionism. Both sides are going to accuse the other of not dealing with one another in good faith. There's probably going to be some constitutional violations thrown back and forth, saying you're not fulfilling your constitutional obligations, and it's going to be who has a better media campaign, who can speak to the American people on this, and I think ultimately it's a gamble for both sides. I think it's probably a bigger gamble for the Republicans, because even if they win on all of this issue and November comes around and there's still no nominee, what if Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders wins? Then you could have an even more progressive nominee than you would have otherwise come next year.
Brendan, I appreciate you joining us on the Wake Up Call. Brendan Bordelon from the National Review. Thanks for being here, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You take care. It is 647 News Radio, 1120 KPNW. It's a sleepy time thing.
Come on, we need a jingle for it, too.
No.
Come on.
Not with this music. I'm not fond of that music.
All right.
Now I can't think of anything because I've got it in my head. Sorry.
Diva.
No, I am. There are those days. Okay, so Sleep Train. Why do you want to go there? All right. So here's what I'm going to suggest one of the main driving factors is going to be. When you go in there, you actually find people that really know stuff about mattresses. Okay? It's not really what you would call just some sort of commodity that they're trying to sell there. They understand everything about these mattresses. The folks that are there go through not just training, but actual classes to learn about mattresses, about mattress construction, about how to help you custom fit a mattress to your needs. All right? We always talk about the free test lay. Well, it's true. They will tell you you need to lay on it, not just for a couple of minutes and go, well, yeah, I guess it feels comfortable. I better get this one. They're going to tell it. They're going to ask you a series of questions, and you will be surprised, like, really? This is the kind of stuff? But they really want to see you get a mattress that is going to be one that's going to be comfortable for you and whomever you might be sharing that mattress with, and be able to take it home and for the next 15 to 20 years get years of great sleep. So that's why it's important to go to Sleep Train. The folks really do know what they sell.
Okay, the President's Day sale, remember President's Day? Ends Sunday. Chance to check out possibly 4 years interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic and Beautyrest Black Hybrid, a Sleep Train exclusive on approved credit with up to 48 equal monthly payments required. Plus, save up to $300 on Tempur-Pedic's most popular mattress sets. Get in there and take a test lay and get some great deals at Sleep Train. And tell them you're like this with the Wake Up Call. All right, just a reminder, I-5 milepost 91, 7 miles south of Canyonville. The northbound lanes are affected. Everything else seems to be working good. Let's hope that continues and we can get the weekend off on a good start commute-wise. Hour 2 coming up. Of course, John Cruz will get you outdoors. Coming up on the Wake Up Call, KPNW.
This is a referral service. Calls will be routed to an independent referral insurance agency.
Do you know the number one cause of bankruptcy? No, it's not losing your job or running up credit card debt. It's not even divorce. It's medical costs. If you and your family don't have health insurance, just one serious illness or accident could be financially devastating. But now there's good news, really good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide health insurance for all Americans, even uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Now anyone can get health insurance even if you have a pre-existing medical condition. I repeat, now anyone can get health insurance coverage. Call now for a free no-obligation quote on affordable health plans available to you. Again, this is a free hotline for anyone, even if you have pre-existing conditions. Protect you and your family from sudden unexpected medical costs. Call the free health insurance hotline right now at 1-800-841-0007. That's 1-800-841-0007. Call 1-800-841-0007.
When you buy something at St. Vincent de Paul, you always save money. And when you donate something to St. Vincent de Paul, you save money too, because everything you donate is tax deductible. So save when you buy and save when you give at St. Vincent de Paul, where you can have some fun, save some money, and do something nice for your neighbors. St. Vincent de Paul, we're in the phone book.
This message is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul in association with Eugene area radio stations. Ears.
Northwest Alternative Health Eugene's premier medical marijuana clinic has a new location. Yes, we've moved to 1675 West 11th Suite B on the corner of 11th and Chambers. Having a medical marijuana card gives you exclusive access to medicine otherwise not available for recreational users, lower prices at the dispensaries, and higher limits for possession and growing. To get your card, drop by our new location or give us a call at 888-920-6076 or visit us online at ommpcard.com.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. It's no secret that problems with public pension plans are one of the root causes of our current distress as we struggle with how to finance state and local governments and education. The main cause of the huge shortfalls and the reason the plans continue to bleed is that the assumptions they make are simply not realistic. The median expected return for more than 100 public pension plans surveyed by the National Association of Retirement Administrators is still 8%. This is the same level as in 2001 at the top of the bull market for stocks, and when interest rates on quality bonds, traditionally a mainstay of these portfolios, were several times higher than today. That's not several percent, though that's true too, but several times. Here's the nugget. In today's world, these plans will be lucky to make 5%, and so are on the fast track to implosion. Many in the private sector are no more realistic. And while some plans have cut assumptions by 0.5% or so, it's not nearly enough. You should expect this problem to get a lot worse before it gets better. And if you're counting on one of these plans for your retirement, it would be prudent to give some thought to what you might do when they finally admit they can't deliver as promised, particularly if you have 10 or 15 more years to go before you can retire. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
I won't mention any names, but their initials are
Holloway in London. The Wake Up Call. On News Radio 1120 KPNW.
How big is Rite Aid's Big Point event? Plenty big. The more participating products you buy with Wellness Plus with Plenty, the more Plenty points you earn through February 27th. Earn 2,000 points when you spend $100, another $1,500 when you get to $150, and yet another $1,500 at $200. That's up to 5,000 Plenty points worth at least $50 in savings, only at Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. Earning based on total purchases from $131 to $227.16. Limit 5,000 Plenty points per card. Plenty is a rewards program. Terms and conditions apply. See plenty.com/terms for details.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood, and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Are some rooms hot while others are cold? Is mold an issue? I'm Josh from Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver. We'll provide a free home comfort and energy evaluation. Find the causes of these problems and fix them. Call Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver today at 248-1173. That's 248-1173. Or online at OregonEnergySaver.com.
Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver. We fix uncomfortable homes.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman to save money.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Mattress Mania in Albany, Eugene, Springfield, and Corvallis. Save like crazy.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out on these roads, be careful. The heaviest storm system of the week, the third one in a row, is moving in with moderate showers. We could even see a few sparks of lightning out there. Some of the energy is fairly unstable. Otherwise, right now, temps are in the low 40s. Mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the south at 5 to 10. Those are going to ramp up as this storm system and cold front moves through for the next couple of hours. Now, as we move into the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies look to dominate across the region with very little breaks in these clouds. And thanks to the strength of the cold front, highs will only be in the upper 40s across most of the region, meaning it'll only go up a few more degrees. Now, these winds will be 15 to 20, some gusts up to 30, but out on the coast, gusts could be as high as 50 or 60. Now, there is a silver lining to all this. A pocket of high pressure will move in late tonight, bringing us a very nice Saturday with partly cloudy skies and temps back into the 50s, but even that is short-lived as another storm system moves in for your Sunday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic Friday.
It's the latest wake-up call market news. This is the KPNW Business Report.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are lower in early trading following crude prices into the red, pairing the strongest weekly gains this year. Investors are reassessing the path for interest rates after data showed stirring signs of inflation in the U.S. Right now, the Dow is down 120 points, or 0.75% at 16,297. The S&P is down 14 at 1903, and the Nasdaq is lower by 28 points, or 0.6% at 4458. Crude oil is lower. It's at $29.65 a barrel. That represents a decline today of 3.6%. Investors are scrutinizing economic data for any signs that slower growth abroad is spreading. A report today shows the cost of living in the U.S., excluding food and fuel, rose in January by the most in more than 4 years. The gains were broad-based. Once again, the Dow now down 121 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
3 years ago, a guy named Louis Cherry and his wife Marcia Gordon decided to build a house in Oakwood, North Carolina. It's an historic upscale Raleigh suburb. They got approval. It didn't hurt that Mr. Cherry is an architect. Construction was going great until their neighbors stepped in. Gail Weisner, real estate agent who lives across the street, believed the new house had too many modern features. And since she was offended, it had to stop. Ms. Weisner went into action, and the approval to build the house was overturned. The certificate of appropriateness needed to build was withdrawn. Construction came to a halt. Next, a county court ruled the couple could build their house. But the still offended Ms. Weisner again got construction halted and took the case to the Court of Appeals. Ms. Weisner argued that her neighbor's house did not fit in the neighborhood and that it would lower property values. She also argued that she'd been negatively impacted by drive-by media crews trying to ambush her into doing interviews. Well, this week the appeals court ruled, and they said even if Ms. Weisner was correct about the house design, she failed to prove that she had been hurt. So after 3 years of aggravation, Louis Cherry and his wife could finally build their house on their property with their design, paid for with their money. The offended neighbor is in real estate. If she's still offended, maybe she can find another place to live. Isn't the onus on her? And then go complain there.
Not available in California. Here's a great idea for a business: health food in vending machines. Who doesn't want healthier choices? Imagine the money you could make. Well, guess what? The guys at Fresh Healthy Vending have already thought of it, which explains why they're the #1 healthy vending franchise, with thousands of franchisee-owned vending machines offering people what they want most: healthier snacks. Could you be our next new franchisee? Because we've identified high-traffic locations and have machines ready to be installed in your community, this is your chance for full or part-time income. Most of our franchisees work fewer than 15 hours a week, and many are so impressed with the money they're making that they've added even more machines to their business. And we do all the work for you. We procure high-foot traffic locations, train you, install your machines, and deliver thousands of best-selling natural, organic, and healthy snacks and drinks nationwide. So go to readyforfresh.com right now. Type in promo code 5151 and receive an immediate 50% savings on franchise.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The public's chance to pay respects to Justice Antonin Scalia begins at this hour at the U.S. Supreme Court, where his body has just arrived and where Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern is live.
Justice Antonin Scalia's flag-draped casket arrived amid a huge but nearly silent crowd escorted up the marble steps here by Supreme Court police and dozens of former law clerks of the late justice. Awaiting at the top, Justice Scalia's family, his wife, and 9 children, many grandchildren. Son, Father Paul Scalia, is now leading a private service before this legal giant lies in repose in the Supreme Court's Great Hall. Thousands expected to pass by the casket today to pay final respects. President Obama and the First Lady among them. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. On the road to the White House, it's South Carolina's turn to vote.
You want to be in a socialist country? Move to a socialist country. We want to be America.
Marco Rubio taking aim moments ago at Bernie Sanders, the new Democrat frontrunner in a Fox News national poll. Donald Trump still has the GOP lead nationally and in South Carolina, where Fox News Radio's Evan Brown is live in Columbia.
And Lisa, the polls will open here in the Palmetto State tomorrow morning, and there are still many people trying to decide for whom they will vote. It is a big reason why people are showing up at candidate appearances.
I just kind of wanted to feel like what each candidate would do and like see who they are as a person, which this did. You know, it showed a different light other than like the debates.
He's undecided still. Donald Trump is still ahead in polling here, with Ted Cruz now believed to be a close second, according to an NBC News Wall Street Journal poll. The Democrats will have their turn in South Carolina a week from tomorrow, Lisa.
Thanks, Eben. For the Democrats, tomorrow is caucus day in Nevada. That's now considered a close race. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Hey guys, let's play some video games.
This new dad plays video games with his sons, but the challenge feels like he's lifting a metric ton.
So many buttons.
His avatar just stares at the walls, twists and turns and somehow falls.
Help me!
He's tangled up in the controller's cords.
I just don't understand this crazy digital world.
Crazy, crazy digital world. Zeros and ones. But the love from his kids is totally apparent. Ooh. See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
You should have just played catch.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Wall Street opens with a sell-off. Fox Business Network's Adam Shapiro is live at the New York Stock Exchange.
And you can blame part of that sell-off on the fact that oil is trading below $30 a barrel. It's down more than $1.20 right now. Also, all 10 of the S&P 500 sectors are in negative territory. Energy leading the pack down, as you can well expect. Some of the stocks which are getting hurt today include some big names like Disney, Caterpillar, and Boeing. Lisa?
Adam, thanks. Again, the Dow is down right now 117 points. U.S. warplanes hitting multiple targets in Libya overnight, targeting an ISIS training camp and a senior extremist leader suspected in connection with 2 terror attacks in Tunisia. A Missouri cop suspended without pay after a YouTube video posted by someone else.
It was this profanity-laced, racially charged video that got St. Joseph, Missouri patrolman Zachary Kraft in trouble. A pushback against Black Lives Matter. The video suggests that cops wouldn't be shooting black people if they weren't breaking the law. Kraft is seen in uniform carrying a Cop Lives Matter sign and reaching for his gun. The video produced by and starring a white suburban Kansas City rapper who calls himself Jay Smitty.
Fox's Gary Baumgarten. Kraft's attorney says the officer was recorded without knowing the content or context of the video and that he was appalled when he saw it. The World Health Organization now says it could take 6 months to prove that the Zika virus causes a neurological disorder in babies. But the group says there is increasing evidence of a link and that they'll convene a meeting in March on research and vaccines similar to what was done in the early days of the recent Ebola outbreak. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
7:05 News Radio 1120 KPNW. Thoughts of a middle school dance when I was a student over there at Kennedy with that Donna Summer music. Windy and rainy today. Got a thunderstorm possible. 48 for the temperature high. They're talking about gusts 20 to 30. I-5 corridor. If you're headed over there to the Oregon coast, you might want to keep your time outside to a minimum. 40 to 50 mile an hour winds over there for today. Tomorrow, much of a different circumstance. You got the Asian celebration. So regardless of what the weather is like, Land Event Center, nice and balmy, warm and dry. Two, in addition to the Asian celebration, by the way, Arden coming in the 8 o'clock hour, the Frontier Heritage Fair is going on. And we're talking about muzzle-loading firearms, camp gear. They're talking about Civil War demonstrations all weekend long. Some pretty cool stuff, kind of a historical fair, if you want to call it. With,
where is this at?
Land Event Center. Tomorrow,
like
9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sunday, 9 a.m. to 4. So if you want to do Asian celebration one day and do it the other, or you could even kind of divide it since it's same location.
Will there be people wearing Horatio hornblower hats? Anything in there, Horatio hornblower hats?
Yep, item number 7.
Ah?
Yeah.
I'm there. They need to be selling those things again. I think the kids would think those are hip, rather than the goofy baseball caps with the flat bills on them.
Yeah.
The weird lids. I think, kids would like the Horatio hornblower things with the frills and the whole 9 yards. I think kids would go, yeah, we need to be wearing those.
It's a terrible impression of a kid of today. Awful.
Okay, let me try again.
All right. There you go. A little bit more throaty.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, we got Johnny Cruz talking about some things going outdoors because you will get some cool weather. And even if you don't get the cool weather, you've got some cool rain gear, right? Also, Tab talking about March of Dimes. And before all that, we got some news stories coming up.
We'll have these stories in a matter of moments. So, the whole debate of minimum wage. Guess where it went in the legislature yesterday? We'll have that story coming up. We'll take a look at some other emerging issues here in the Eugene area. A body found outside of Cottage Grove. We'll look at input dealing with local area parks and smoking in said parks, and a serial jewelry store robber. Those stories and more coming up, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, here on KPNW.
By the way, beautiful sunrise alert out to the east. It's pretty. 7:08. Good morning.
Catering has kind of a bad connotation. Limited menus, black ties, and uptown prices for essentially midtown food. Burrito Amigos offers catering without the pretenses. Let's just call it amigoing. When you want amigoing, you can have anything on the menu from delicious shrimp burritos to yummy tacos, from chili verde enchiladas to spicy tamales, and the whole menu is yours. Plus, they'll do special foods for folks with dietary restrictions. Really. As a matter of fact, it's so low-key, you can call the cashier at Burrito Amigos and order 50 burritos anytime with no advance notice, and it'll be ready in about 10 to 15 minutes. For bigger orders, give Larry a call and get your catering, amigoing, on the fast track. They take care of groups up to 500, and you get the equipment to keep it warm for no extra charge. No ties, no hassle, no big catering bills. That's amigoing. Burrito Amigos. Amigoing for schools, businesses, clubs, offices, weddings, and more. I'm Bill London, Burrito Amigos' biggest fan, and I love making up new words. In Eugene and Springfield, Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call,
the one means no matter what the problem.
From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. So our highly skilled technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
Did you know optimistic people are twice as likely to have ideal heart health? Now is a great time to feed your optimism. Reach out to someone who inspires you to stay healthy. Snap a picture together and share it on Facebook with the hashtag HeartHappy. For more tangible help to live heart healthy, let Peace Health be your partner. We offer screenings, expertise on healthy eating and exercise, tobacco cessation, and more. Visit peacehealth.org/heart to learn more.
Local news, local people. The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120. KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on.
It's going to lead to layoffs. It's going to lead to reduced hours.
A bill to increase Oregon's minimum wage is now headed to the governor for her signature. She has said she will sign it. Brad Ford reports the debate was stopped by protesters and slowed, only very briefly, by Republicans.
As debate on the minimum wage bill was underway, demonstrators entered the House chamber. Representative Gail Whitsitt.
It is so loud in the back, it's impossible to hear anything with the stomping.
Speaker Tina Kotek called in help to remove them.
State troopers are handling this.
Republicans made motions trying to divert the bill to Ways and Means for a financial review and arguing it'll force an increase in pay for lawmakers.
I'm not voting myself a pay raise.
Speaker Kotek says Democrats don't believe that's true.
You have differing legal opinions on this.
After several hours of debate, the Democratic majority won the day, passing the bill and sending it to the governor. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Now, that bill will increase wages gradually over the next 6 years. By 2022, the state's current $9.25 an hour minimum, already one of the highest in the nation, is going to climb to $14.75 in the metro Portland area, $13.50 in smaller cities like Salem and Eugene, as well as Deschutes County, and $12.50 in rural communities like Jefferson and Crook counties. House Democrats rejected Republican efforts to remove an emergency clause allowing foes to gather signatures to refer the plan to voters, which is something that Democrats desperately don't want to have happen, and that is the people of the state to actually have a say in the issue. Also, Republicans tried to separate the amendment to directly refer the proposal to the ballot. That didn't go either. Two University of Oregon frats have announced that they're going to begin accepting transgender men into groups for the first time. Delta Upsilon and Delta Tau Delta representatives say they plan to reach out to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual students at the Eugene campus. Their announcement puts them in line with a handful of other frats nationwide that have pledged to include transgender members. Henry Corman of Delta Upsilon says the frat is looking to change frat culture to become more inclusive. Delta Tau Delta's Eugene chapter president, Alec Malnati, says he hopes the fraternity will provide a social space for people to feel like they belong. Representatives from both fraternities say they hope the university's 17 other frats will change as well. Eugene officials are looking for your input on proposed rules that would prohibit smoking and flying drones at city parks. Eugene's Parks and Open Space Director, Craig Carnegie, says the new rules could take effect as early as April if the city adopts the final rules. The public comment period ends March 3rd. The proposed smoking ban would put Eugene in line with other Lane County cities that have outlawed tobacco use at their parks, like Cottage Grove and Veneta. The state also implemented a smoking ban in 2015 in its parks. Carnegie says the restrictions on drones and model airplanes have come in response to complaints from park users over privacy and safety concerns. The proposed ban would apply to all city parks except for the park blocks downtown. Investigators believe that a body was found in a wooded area outside of Cottage Grove was an individual who disappeared last year. John Gerald was last seen alive late September as he was getting gas in Cottage Grove for his Chevy Blazer. The vehicle was found last Sunday near Bryce Creek Road. Searchers using a cadaver dog found a decomposed but clothed body. They found it in a heavily wooded area about a mile from the vehicle. A wallet discovered on the body had Gerald's identification. Confirmation of identity is still pending the medical examiner's review. At this time, foul play is not suspected. One of the people arrested for occupying the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge is suing the federal government, claiming damages caused by Satan.
Shauna Cox has filed a lawsuit for $666,666,666,666.66, claiming those are the damages from works of the devil. The document was filed in U.S. District Court. She also says they didn't prevent government employees from working at the refuge during the occupation, and the state and federal employees tried to execute her and the other occupiers. The judge tossed out her lawsuit, saying it's not part of the federal case against Cox. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Police are looking for a jewel thief in the Mid-Valley that's hit multiple stores. According to Springfield Sergeant David Lewis, 2 crimes happened in one day this week. Lewis said that 4:20 Wednesday afternoon, a man was looking at a ring in a jewelry store. The ring valued at $5,000. The man looked, then he bolted from the store with the ring. At about 5:30, a similar crime was reported in the Albany Fred Meyer store. The suspect, described as a black male, about 5'10", 180 pounds, wearing a dark blue fishing-style hat and a red hooded sweatshirt with blue lettering. Police say similar robbery attempts have taken place in Salem and Portland, including 5 attempts at a Fred Meyer's store in the last 3 days. If you have any information, contact the police. President Obama declared a state of major disaster in Oregon and ordered federal aid to be given to areas affected by the severe weather from last December's storms. According to a press release from the White House, federal aid is going to be available to state, tribal, and local recovery efforts in those areas affected by flooding, landslides, mudslides, and windstorms, including Lynn, Polk, Yamhill, and Lane counties. FEMA said additional aid could be rewarded later if requested by the state and warranted by further damage assessments. Apple is fighting to keep the government from forcing it to break into an iPhone. Brad Ford reports an Oregon senator up for re-election agrees.
Apple has been ordered by a judge to get information out of an iPhone that was owned by one of the San Bernardino shooters. Apple says if they do that, the ability will become public. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, says that's a dangerous precedent.
When you do that, that gets into the hands of bad guys as well as good guys.
Wyden says the government has no business compelling a company to hack into someone's private phone. If that happens, it could result in criminals or other governments getting the software to do the same thing. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, in January, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife started carrying out a 3-year plan to kill 95 cougars annually in 4 different wildlife management areas. The cougars will be killed to rescue decimated mule deer and bighorn sheep populations and also reduce conflict with livestock and pets. In other words, they're going to try to keep them out of urban areas. Oregon wildlife officials are reviewing the state's cougar plan. Under the ODFW plan, approved last October, up to 50 cougars are going to be killed in the interstate management zone. They say that Oregon has compiled 30 years of research on cougars. A Washington County man accused of fatally stabbing his former girlfriend while on temporary release from a halfway house has been sentenced to life in prison. 25-year-old Eric Peterson pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and was sentenced to life for the August 2014 death of 24-year-old Amy Zadtran. At the time of the killing, he was serving 60 days in a minimum security transitional facility in Hillsborough and had a day pass to go on a job search. Senior Deputy District Attorney Bracken McKee told the court that the Washington County Community Corrections Center was in part responsible for the killing because they failed to keep tabs on Peterson during his time at the facility. Well, Seaside students are planning a national letter campaign in hopes that celebrities, politicians, and business owners will help them raise money to move their schools out of the path of a destructive tsunami. Since last fall, student leaders have been trying to raise $200 million to relocate multiple district schools to higher ground in light of a predicted mega earthquake and subsequent tsunami. A bond measure to relocate the schools failed. So far, students have raised $5,000. Sometimes it's impossible to avoid hitting a pothole, and AAA's Marie Dodd says that damage adds up.
Pothole damage has cost U.S. drivers about $3 billion every year, adding up to a whopping $15 billion in vehicle repairs over the last 5 years.
See, I want to be the guy working for AAA that gets to figure out stats about potholes. Here's another one. If you need to get your car repaired after hitting a pothole, AAA has averaged that the cost is $300. So hitting a pothole too hard will cost you $300. Now you may be asking yourself, what other esoteric information about potholes might Bill have? Well, it's funny that you asked that. One of the things that you can do to avoid damaging your car, besides just not hitting the pothole, is keeping your tires at the recommended pressure. Overinflated or underinflated can cause more damage. See, now there's something you didn't know. It's 7:20. This look at the information brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Neil Olshey and the Portland Trailblazers, powers that are, give themselves passing grades, calling their activity on the trade deadline sexy. Nobody from the core had to pack bags. The biggest move involved Anderson Varejao from Cleveland coming to Portland in a 3-team deal. Then as quickly as that happened, he was waived to pick up a first-round pick in 2018. Then Portland picked up backup guard Brian Roberts from the Heat. They had to waive guard Tim Frazier to make room. These are future moves, and the immediate impact player like a Blake Griffin or a Greg Monroe did not happen. 3-team deal, by the way, produced a change for Channing Frye as he goes from Orlando to Cleveland. The Blazers shake off the All-Star break with a date tonight at the Moda, taking on Steph Curry and the 48-4 Golden State Warriors. Golf, Jordan Spieth proven that he is human at the Northern Trust Open on Thursday. The number one player in the world shot an opening round 8 over 79. I can only dream. He's the number one player in the world. Third worst score of his illustrious PGA Tour career. Camilo Villegas, the first-round leader after firing a 63. ESPN.com features a nice piece on Sheridan Hawkins, the Oregon pitcher, and how she's the ticket potentially to another national title run. Her career record is 86-17, most wins of any active pitcher in softball. By the way, the softball Ducks are 5-1, having lost to number 17 Kentucky. They travel all over the country, places like Nevada, California, and Seattle, and christen their new stadium on March 24th. Currently, the Ducks are ranked 5th. Busy week in Matthew Knight for Oregon basketball teams. Jillian Aline plays her last regular season games at home tonight and Sunday. Sandwiched in the middle is a Civil War revenge game for the men against OSU. Go Ducks. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW News Time 7:22.
KPNW weather with Chris Nation. Brought to you by Mattress Mania, where you save like crazy.
Good Friday morning to you and yours. If you're headed out in the next few minutes, take your umbrella. We've got another storm system moving in, the third one of this week, and this looks to be the strongest. Now, we do have mostly cloudy skies, light showers now. Those will become moderate to heavy over the next couple of hours, and the winds are light, south 5 to 10, but they'll ramp up out of the south-southwest at 15 to 20, gusts up to 30, and out on the coast, we could see gusts as high as 50 or 60. Now, we're expecting about a half inch along the I-5, a full inch along the coast. As we move into your afternoon, though, the cold front will limit the highs into the upper 40s, so it's only going to go up a few degrees. Mostly cloudy skies look to continue thinning out late tonight. Now, there is a silver lining in all this. A ridge of high pressure will move in for your Saturday, bringing partly cloudy skies, if not mostly sunny by the afternoon, but even that'll be short-lived as the next storm system is right behind that, starting to move in Saturday night into your Sunday. If you're going to do something outdoors, plan to do it Saturday. Sunday's looking wet. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, brought to you by Builders Electric, providing smart electrical service since 1960. Have you ever worked in a place where all the people were fun to be around? How about moving into a new house and all the neighbors are great? Or going to a new play or musical and seeing an old friend? Well, Havelock Ellis, the 19th century scientist and author, once wrote, "The byproduct is sometimes more valuable than the product." As you write your goals and pursue them, don't forget to keep your eyes open for all the potential byproducts around them. Sometimes those byproducts can make your life even more positive than you planned, so keep a lookout for them. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
Today's Motivational Minute was sponsored by Builders Electric, voted the Register Guard's 2015 Reader's Choice #1 electrical contractor, providing positive service for over 55 years. That's Builders Electric, CCB 4296.
Days are brighter, spring's coming. Time to get back on a bike. Try out the fun e-bike experience. Eugene Electric Bicycles has lots to choose from for all heights, weights, riding abilities, and budgets. With 55 e-bikes and 30 models to consider, there's one that's right for you. Cruisers, mountain and cargo bikes, hybrids, trikes, tandems, folders, fat bikes. Lots of possibilities, but one thing's for sure. You'll be on a bike that'll make it easy for you to keep up with friends and get up our hills. E-bikes at Eugene Electric Bicycles, across from the 5th Street Market. Try one.
Northwest Burger inside the 5th Street Market features burgers so amazing they're an experience all their own. Freshly ground meat and local produce combined with the creativity of local chef Garrett Kirsch makes for a burger experience like no other. You'll get mouth-watering goodness in every single bite. Check out their menu and photos on Facebook. Northwest Burger, located in the 5th Street Market. It's not just a burger, it's an experience.
As a young teenage boy, I didn't even know what autism was. How do you even spell that? A few years later, I heard that a friend's cousin's son had been diagnosed with autism.
I still wasn't sure what that really meant.
When I went to college, my roommate's brother had autism. When I moved to the city for work, my best friend called me and told me his son had been diagnosed with autism. We were both in shock. I still remember the day I walked into the house and saw that look on my wife's face. I knew something was wrong. I'll never forget how I felt when she said, "Our son has autism."
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 110 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 600% increase in the last 20 years. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
All right. When bad things happen to good people, it can manifest itself in a number of ways. Sometimes it's multiple bad things happening to good people. So if you're one of those folks that have been dealing with financial problems and then the car breaks down, or for whatever reason disappears, or etc., and you're thinking, how am I going to get into a car? I can't get credit. I can't afford to go out and pay cash down completely for a new one. What am I going to do? Guaranteed Discount Chevrolet has the Good People Bad Credit Program. They'll help you get into a vehicle in under 48 hours, and the thing is, you'll be rebuilding your credit along the way. So give them a call, 541-998-2333. That's 541-998-2333. It's Guaranteed Discount Chevrolet.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
727, just to throw this in here real quick. Still have a situation if you should be traveling 7 miles south of Canyonville. I-5 milepost 91, we've got that crash still working the northbound lanes. So just be advised, got a crash with delays. Everything else in our neck of the woods, relatively smooth. So let's hope that, as I knock on Formica, hopefully that continues.
Hey, look who's here joining us. It's our buddy on the Wake Up Call, Tab Davis.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome back. So,
thank you.
For folks that didn't know, Tab has... You've been a part of the 15 for like almost since the beginning. I think the first time that you came into the studio was back when the debate was going on with the county over whether they should spend some money that they had gotten on keeping open jail beds. Mm-hmm. And this was, this was a long time ago. This is like 6 years ago. And I think that was the first time that you came into the studio because you were with the group that wanted to make sure that more jail beds didn't get closed. And then you started coming in because you also at the time worked for March of Dimes.
Correct.
And you kind of got us involved, which was great, and we're still involved in it with the Signature Chefs auction. And then we were able to convince you to come work for us.
I must have
and then
had a moment of
clarity.
Yeah, that we'll call it that.
Maybe it was more of a drunken fog.
Or that.
A stupor of some sort, or that. Anyway, so over the course of the years, Tab now a member of the family, and you came in the other day. And the thing is, even though you don't work for March of Dimes anymore, you're still passionate about helping babies. And you came in the other day and you said, I'm working on this thing. I'm trying to work on this fundraiser for March of Dimes. I'm involved in it because I want to be. See, she used to be like an employee of them, and now she has quit, and yet she still wants to raise money for them. And you came and said, I got this. Can you help? And I, of course, said, well, yeah. And then Rob said, well, yeah. And so here you are. What is it you're raising money for? How are you doing it, and what's going on?
Well, you're right. I have continued to remain passionate about helping babies and the mission of March of Dimes. And because of that, I agreed to participate in the High Heels for High Hopes fundraising event that takes place on February 24th here in Eugene. And in part of doing that, we commit to raising a minimum amount of money, which is $2,500. And I've done that, and I feel really great about that.
And if you don't, you're beaten with high heels, right?
Something like that, yeah. And so I made sure that wasn't going to happen. But here's the deal.
But I did.
I'm very competitive, and I care about the mission of March of Dimes so much. And this group of women that I'm fundraising with, there's 18 of us, and the amount of money that's been raised so far is crazy. Over $70,000. Nice. I'm sure will come in. It's at 60-some thousand right now, and so they're going to blow the $70,000 goal out of the water. I mean, that's going to happen. But I've been given sort of an opportunity. I have raised a little over $4,000 so far.
Nice.
It's great. Thank you. But I have a couple donors that are willing to help me do something really special. If I'm able to raise another $4,000, then these donors will step up and pitch in an additional $2,000, and it will put us over the $10,000 mark in terms of fundraising, just for me personally. And that means a lot to me. My nephew was born at 8 months gestation. He was born asleep. We never got to see him smile. We never got to see his little eyes open. We never got to have any experience that a family would like to have with a little one. And because of that, my life is different now. My ability to empathize with people is different. But certainly seeing that kind of pain in my brother and his wife and the rest of our family was something that you just don't ever expect to see, nor do you ever want to see again. And there's so many people that experience that same sort of tragedy every day. 1 in 10 babies is born preterm, as you guys both well know, and 380,000 babies are born preterm in the United States, and it's just too many. It's just too many. And for most of the time, they don't know the reasons why, and that's why I'm passionate about raising money for March of Dimes. They do the research to try and identify the causes of these preterm births and infant death so that perhaps we can prevent it from happening, and no one will have to suffer that kind of pain again.
It's interesting. Corey, who does some work here at the station, he's one of our kind of, I guess I call him kind of one of the bench guys. He comes in off the bench. He does stuff, he board ops. He collects audio for news stories, does a little engineering stuff. He's one of the utility players around here that's really important. His baby was born premature. Yeah. And he spent time at the neonatal intensive care up, I believe it was in Portland. Was he up in Portland? He lives in Salem.
I think so, yeah.
I think he was up in Portland. But he just recently went through that, and the issues with his daughter, and they're still dealing with certain things with her. I mean, she's fine. She is healthy at this point. But things were definitely dicey early on, and it's amazing, if you think about it, how many people actually either know somebody directly or have a family member that has gone through a premature birth, or in the case of your family, has gone through not only premature but also, an infant death. It really is staggering. I always, we do the thing with CMN every year and over at Riverbend, and it always amazes. They have I think 44 not beds, but
isolates.
They have 44 of them over there, and it seems like every year that we go over there, they're at capacity. And it's like, how does that, I mean, over the course of a year, I mean, you start thinking about that, it's like, that's a lot of babies.
Yeah, it's a lot of babies. You know, when you think about 1 in 10, look around your office when you get there today, if you're not already there. Look around and think about all the people that you work with. And if 1 in 10 is born preterm, how many of those have children? You know, you may have 10 people that work in your office. That's 20 children. Probably 2 of them were born preterm or had some sort of serious complication.
Well, one of the people that actually the person that you replaced, Cindy, when she retired, 2 of her children.
Yeah. Well, while you guys were at Riverbend last year at doing the CMN event, my little niece was there. She was there for 90 days. So yeah, it happens more frequently than you would even know, and it's something that people don't always talk about. So it doesn't you don't think every time, you know, you don't go out in the grocery store and go, oh, look at that little preemie. Because when you see them, they're healthy already, or you never see them at all if they don't survive. So it's not something that's real visible all the time.
Okay, so the fundraiser that you're doing, somebody is going to, if you make, what is it, how much do you have to make before they're going to throw in a couple of grand each?
Another $4,000, so $8,000 total. So basically,
and you're not looking for a $4,000 donation, but something to chop
no,
that
but
away.
If
but you won't turn it down.
I would not turn it down. But if there are 4 businesses that want to donate $1,000, if there are 5 or 8 that want to do $500, if you have $100 or 50 or 5, it doesn't matter to me. I just don't want to leave this extra money on the table. If we have an opportunity to raise a lot of money to help babies be born healthy, and I just don't want to leave that on the table. I've done my 4. I've gotten to a little over 4 actually, and so I just have to double that, and we'll get another little.
So how are you recommending if somebody, one of our 15 wants to help you out? How do they do that?
So there's a link on the KPNW webpage. All you have to do is go there, click it, and it'll donate directly towards that effort, the effort to raise that additional $4,000 and get the 2 bonus.
Okay, so on our Facebook page, just click it. And
on your webpage, kpnw.com.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It says help babies be born healthy. So if you go to our at kpnw.com, and you'll see the big rectangular box kind of on the left-hand side of the screen, and you've got the option to go left or right with it. You'll see the little left-right arrows, and there it is. Help babies be born healthy. You're a little baby. So anyway, and you click on that, which I'm doing right now, and that will take you to highheels.marchofdimes.org. And that's where you can. What is the high heels thing? Okay, it's high heels for high hopes. What is the tie-in with high heels?
Well, it's just a fun event that women have gotten behind. It's all women that participate. We do a fashion show, walk the runway, model different outfits. There's stories about mission family that has gone through a preterm birth scenario. Really, it's just a fun thing that women like to do, and it's a great way for us to raise money. There's an award at the end. The woman who raises the most money gets a crystal stiletto.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So wouldn't we like to bring that back here to the station? Well, at least I would.
Hey, the frats are opening it up. Maybe you should open it up and not just be women only, okay?
Well, I don't think they would turn down a little something. I don't know.
Hey, you, of course, worked intimately when you worked at March of Dimes, and now you're still, kind of paying it forward now that you're working with the radio station.
Right.
What is something that somebody maybe that even donates on a regular basis wouldn't know about the company that you know about in the company, the organization, that you saw over the years when you were working with them?
Well, probably the most important thing is really something that can be a misnomer, and that is how they spend their money. March of Dimes is really dedicated to putting their best foot forward, if you will. 76 cents from every dollar that is raised goes towards the mission of March of Dimes. But what I think is really interesting, and maybe answers your question a little bit better, is that in the state of Oregon, so March of Dimes is a national research organization, so the money they raise is primarily used for research. So you don't call up the March of Dimes and say, hey, I had a preemie, can you help me with my medical bills? That's not what they do. They are a research organization. But in the state of Oregon, typically more money is spent by March of Dimes in the state of Oregon than is raised in the state of Oregon, because we have research doctors here at OHSU, oftentimes at U of O and in Medford. And so more money that is raised here actually is used in this community because we've got such great research facilities. And so who knows, someday the cure for preterm birth, the reason why babies are born early might be discovered here in our community. And what's interesting also is when they don't even know what causes a woman to go into labor, and you would think that's science, right? We should know that, but doctors don't know what causes a woman to go into labor, and so that's where a lot of the focus is being put in the research right now.
I think it has to do with having a child.
Well,
I think that it has something. I think those two are connected. I think being pregnant and labor, somehow those two things are interconnected. Do you think that might?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Pretty possibly. But what triggers that? What triggers the episode is what they're trying to determine. So.
Well, I think maybe I'm on the road partially. To
You're
the
onto
answer.
something.
I think
Dr. Bill's got it.
Needs to send him a letter saying, I think part of it has to do with being pregnant.
There's a baby in there.
Yeah. That's part.
When's the deadline? When do you have to raise this money?
I need to raise the money by Tuesday evening. So really what I'm here asking for is I'm asking for our KPNW listeners to step up and help me, to click on that webpage today, go to kpnw.com and make a donation. And quite honestly, it would be so nice to go to bed this weekend and say, we did it. We did it. Just click today, make a donation, and help babies be born healthy.
All right. So, did you also want to give did you have a number that you wanted people to call to?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go ahead and give it?
541-221-9157. 221-9157. If you want to make a donation over the phone, you can call that number and I'll get your credit card information. You'll get a receipt from March of Dimes directly.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tab, thanks for coming in. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Again,
I appreciate you.
You can go to our Wake Up Call, kpnw.com. You'll see the banner there on the left-hand side. Just click the little arrows, and you'll see the adorable baby, and you click on the adorable baby, and that gets you to the right spot. Or if you want to go, the traditional lower-tech way, you actually can, pick up a phone and talk to a human being. 541-221-9157. Have a great rest of your day, Tab.
Thank you. You too.
Love the vest.
Hey, I'm wearing my Go Baby Go purple.
Very, very retro vest. Anyway, that's it.
All right, 742 KPNW.
With our eye on the stock tickers, this is the Wake Up Call Business Report on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are lower in early trading following crude prices into the red, pairing the strongest weekly gains this year. Investors are reassessing the path for interest rates after data showed stirring signs of inflation in the U.S. Right now, the Dow is down 120 points, or 0.75% at 16,297. The S&P is down 14 at 1903, and the Nasdaq is lower by 28 points, or 0.6% at 44.58. Crude oil is lower. It's at $29.65 a barrel. That represents a decline today of 3.6%. Investors are scrutinizing economic data for any signs that slower growth abroad is spreading. A report today shows the cost of living in the U.S., excluding food and fuel, rose in January by the most in more than 4 years. The gains were broad-based. Once again, the Dow now down 121 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. And lots of them are there to help you care for your furry friends. Whether your pet needs a bath, a trim, a treat, or a toy, or even that necessary operation, you'll find the right place for all your pet's needs on West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Hear that? That's my buddy. He's saying it's time for a new toy. Go West, pet lovers. Go West.
It happens once in a lifetime, and it is happening right now at Creative Clock on Conger.
Words used in today's social networking go hand in hand with Umpqua ice cream.
I'm going to the table with this Umpqua ice cream. I'll follow you. LOL. You have ice cream all over your face. I want to see it.
Enjoy birthday cake. Umpqua ice cream's flavor of the month.
Do a selfie. Look in your spoon. Hey, I'm upside down.
Umpqua ice cream, the original social network. Share the flavor at umpquadairy.com.
Living the life of a small business owner is hard and full of unexpected challenges. For example, I started my business 29 years ago in the basement of a factory without heat. Instead of customers, my first office visitors were flies, birds, rats, and snakes. It was a rough startup. I almost didn't make it. But I hung in there, and today I have hundreds of employees. Hi, I'm Mike Capel, founder and CEO of Patriot Software. If you're a small business owner, I'm sure you have plenty of stories just like mine. I'm also sure there are two things you don't have plenty of: time and money. That's why I built Patriot Software, to give you a payroll solution that lets you keep your time and money. Our payroll starts at just $10 a month. It's easy to use, there are no long-term contracts, and if you need help, we will help you for free. Just go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code 4000, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com, promo code 4000.
Join the Junction City Habitat for Humanity at Gunrunner Arms birthday celebration Saturday, February 27th. Habitat for Humanity will be collecting your new or used items for their giant spring garage sale coming up April 15th and 16th. You can donate everything from working used appliances to clothes, toys, dressers, tools, power equipment, just about everything, with the exception of upholstered furniture and mattresses. All donations tax deductible. Drop off your donation items for the JC Habitat for Humanity Saturday the 27th at Gunrunner Arms on Highway 99 and 36 in Junction City.
Weather every 10 minutes during the wake-up call. Count on it. News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out on these roads, be careful. The heaviest storm system of the week, the third one in a row, is moving in with moderate showers. We could even see a few sparks of lightning out there. Some of the energy is fairly unstable. Otherwise, right now, temps are in the low 40s. Mostly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south at 5 to 10. Those are going to ramp up as this storm system and cold front moves through over the next couple of hours. Now, as we move into the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies look to dominate across the region with very little breaks in these clouds. And thanks to the strength of the cold front, highs will only be in the upper 40s across most of the region, meaning it'll only go up a few more degrees. Now, these winds will be 15 to 20, some gusts up to 30, but out on the coast, gusts could be as high as 50 or 60. Now, there is a silver lining to all this. A pocket of high pressure will move in late tonight, bringing us a very nice Saturday with partly cloudy skies and temps back into the 50s, but even that is short-lived as another storm system moves in for your Sunday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is my profound pleasure to introduce
The Wake-Up Call on News Radio 1120, KPNW.
It's Friday, and that means it's time for a visit from that mountain man, that burly guy of the outdoors, the foremost leading outdoorsman in the entire world. We call him Grizzly Adams, but you can just call him John Cruz. He's the host of Northwestern Outdoors, heard on this fine radio station 6 to 7 o'clock every Saturday morning here on KPNW. And look, here he is from somewhere up in Wenatchee, Washington, probably gutting something as we speak. How you doing there?
Doing good. The only thing I'm gutting right now is a cup of coffee. And as for Grizzly Adams, he passed away. So, you know, I think I might actually be able to live up to the intro this week.
My understanding is, though, that The Revenant was based on your life. Is that true?
That's not true, especially the bear rape part. That is so not true. I completely deny that.
Okay. All right. It was just, I had heard that it was. I heard
Stop talking to Rob.
I heard that The Revenant was based on your life. And
Stop talking to Rob. That's not true.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd heard that it was, so I was just kind of curious. You know, that whole thing. You know, they left out the best part of that story.
Which was?
Well, after the mauling, his back was infected. Are you familiar with this story?
I know a little bit about the heat blast story, but I don't know that part.
Okay, so his back, which is common, most folks don't even think about this because they don't typically get mauled by wild animals, but wild animals with claws, their claws usually carry all sorts of nasty bacteria because they have used those claws to gut whatever it is that they've been eating. And so that stuff gets on their claws, it rots, and it almost creates like this biohazard right there on their claws. So when they claw you, if you don't get immediate treatment, you get these really bad infections. And his back became infected, literally gangrenous. And what he did was he found a bunch of maggots on a carcass and literally laid down on the maggots and let them eat away the infected parts of his back to survive. And they did not show that in the movie.
I can understand why they didn't show that in the movie.
To me, that just says... Pardon me, folks, for getting a little crass here. That to me says total badass. To do that, I mean, that to me is just like, okay, now that guy goes to a higher level of that quality than just about anybody else.
Well, it's also a public service announcement too. If that ever happens to you,
find some maggots.
You know what to do.
Right. Find some maggots and lay on them because they're going to help you out. So anyway, that's part of the story. And they left it out of the movie, which is, I think, unfortunate. So, there we go.
Friday mornings are just amazing with you. That's all I've got to say.
Well, it's as we like to say, occasionally you just have to drive the train off the tracks and see where it ends up. So, that's what we do every morning here on the Wake Up Call. It's all about the constant, ongoing 3-hour train wreck. That said, what do you have coming up on this show thing that you do on Saturday mornings?
Well, we're bringing you audio from SHOT Show, and funny you should mention bear mauling because we're talking to the manager of Counter Assault, which makes bear spray. They're out of Kalispell, Montana, and we talk about bear spray versus OC spray and bear spray versus guns and what's better to carry in the woods when you're in bear country.
What does OC stand for?
It's pepper spray that officers carry. And it's basically the same thing as what you have on bear spray, but it's I guess you would say it's a different concentration. So if you get sprayed by a cop, it's going to have less concentration of OC than if you get sprayed with pepper spray, or bear spray.
So, women, if you're listening right now and you're looking to carry a little pepper spray, get bear spray.
Get bear spray. Guaranteed to stop bears and, men that you don't want bothering you.
All right. Good point there. See, now look, we've done it. Now that is public service number 2. Maggots and bear spray.
There you go.
Yep, that's right. That's what the Wake Up Call is all about. Changing and helping lives one person at a time. What else is coming up on the show?
We're talking to Shane Mizell with Loophole. They've got a new and improved rifle scope. They're calling it the VX3i. Actually costs less than the predecessor, the VX3, so that's kind of cool. And Loophole, of course, is headquartered in Beaverton, Oregon, makes all of their scopes there. We're talking to the folks from Camp Chef about their iconic Explorer camp stove, and we get to talk to the president of Filson, that clothing manufacturer that basically started off making clothing for folks heading up to the Klondike Gold Rush back in the late 1800s. They've got a new building in Seattle where you can actually walk in and see them make the Filson clothing and gear and then walk upstairs to the retail store.
Nice. All right, things to do in the outdoors this weekend. Tomorrow is supposed to be great here in the Valley. What do you suggest?
Quite a few things you can do this weekend. If you're up for taking the kids fishing, the Roe River Nature Park in Cottage Grove, it just got stocked with trout. Some other family-friendly waters that were stocked with trout in the last week or so is the Alton Baker Canal and the E.E. Wilson Pond over there near Corvallis. If you just want to go steelhead fishing, this is a great time. The rivers, as they drop into shape after rains, the ones you want to hit right now, the South Umpqua, the North Umpqua, especially around Stanton Park and the main stem Umpqua at Cleveland Rapids, all really good for winter steelhead right now. Rogue River is going to be really good for steelhead as well, and the Illinois River, it would be a good one too. So if you want to go crabbing and don't know a lot about crabbing, head to Garibaldi tomorrow. and go to the Harborview Inn and RV Park. They're actually having a seminar that'll teach you everything you need to know about crabbing. You need to have a license, but they'll have all the gear. They'll teach you how to do it. They'll teach you how to clean them. Should be a lot of fun. But you do need to pre-register, so just Google the Harborview Inn in Garibaldi, and you'll get the information you need.
Yeah. And if you need to learn how to clean a crab, the first thing I'll tell you is you need a small loofah. So make sure that you grab one of those before you head over there. Get the loofah, then go over. Right?
Perfect.
Right, John?
Actually, I just throw mine in boiling water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't clean them off and buff them and powder them first?
No, I just say time for a swim, boys, and in the boiling water they go.
How uncouth. All right, John, have a great weekend. Appreciate you being on the show. And again, Northwestern Outdoors from 6 to 7 o'clock this coming Saturday morning. Are you going to go out and chase meth heads today? Is that John?
No, actually, I'm heading to the Central Washington Sportsman Show in Yakima. And so we'll record some audio there, and we'll share it with you in a week or two.
All right, sounds good. John, have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, take care. It is 7:55, News Radio 1120 KPNW.
All right, also going on here, of course, the Asian celebration at the Lane Event Center. You got the Frontier Heritage Fair, which we talked about last hour. That's going on tomorrow and Sunday, also at the Lane Event Center. You got the Oregon basketball teams playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with the men taking a little Civil War revenge to Matthew Knight on Saturday night. And the Mardi Gras 5K at the Oregon Wine Lab happening this weekend. If you love the jazz and the beads and everything that is Mardi Gras, go check out the Oregon Wine Lab. I believe that is tomorrow. 7:55, hour 3 coming up on KPNW.
Hi, this is Bill London, and I can tell you from experience, dealing with a realtor can be a trying experience. Trying to sell my mom and dad's house recently, I would have liked to have had a realtor who up front would have told me not necessarily what I wanted to hear, but what I needed to hear. Like, for instance, that we really did need to put a new roof on the house. Otherwise, we were going to get beaten down on the price and some other things as well. Well, Eric Harpole is one of those realtors. He won't tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear to get the most out of your house.
I think when you sit down with Eric or anybody from his team, it's quickly apparent. I mean, they're serious, they know real estate, and they're not into filling the air with things that aren't true. Whether you're buying or selling or even thinking about doing either of those two, call the Harpole team at 541-286-3030. It will be the most refreshing conversation you ever had with a realtor. The Harpole Real Estate Group is changing the way real estate gets done here locally. 541-286-3030.
Are some rooms hot while others are cold? Is mold an issue? I'm Josh from Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver. We'll provide a free home comfort and energy evaluation. Find the causes of these problems and fix them. Call Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver today at 248-1173. That's 248-1173. Or online at OregonEnergySaver.com.
Josh Lowe's, Dr. Energy Saver. We fix uncomfortable homes.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. It's no secret that problems with public pension plans are one of the root causes of our current distress as we struggle with how to finance state and local governments and education. The main cause of the huge shortfalls and the reason the plans continue to bleed is that the assumptions they make are simply not realistic. The median expected return for more than 100 public pension plans surveyed by the National Association of Retirement Administrators is still 8%. This is the same level as in 2001 at the top of the bull market for stocks, and when interest rates on quality bonds, traditionally a mainstay of these portfolios, were several times higher than today. That's not several percent, though that's true too, but several times. Here's the nugget. In today's world, these plans will be lucky to make 5%, and so are on the fast track to implosion. Many in the private sector are no more realistic. And while some plans have cut assumptions by 0.5% or so, it's not nearly enough. You should expect this problem to get a lot worse before it gets better. And if you're counting on one of these plans for your retirement, it would be prudent to give some thought to what you might do when they finally admit they can't deliver as promised, particularly if you have 10 or 15 more years to go before you can retire. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
It's your money. And this is your Wake Up Call Market Report on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are lower in early trading following crude prices into the red, pairing the strongest weekly gains this year. Investors are reassessing the path for interest rates after data showed stirring signs of inflation in the U.S. Right now, the Dow is down 120 points or 0.75% at 16,297. The S&P is down 14 at 1903, and the Nasdaq is lower by 28 points or 0.6% at 44.58. Crude oil is lower. It's at $29.65 a barrel. That represents a decline today of 3.6%. Investors are scrutinizing economic data for any signs that slower growth abroad is spreading. A report today shows the cost of living in the U.S., excluding food and fuel, rose in January by the most in more than 4 years. The gains were broad-based. Once again, down 121 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Lisa Brady. Author Harper Lee has died. She wrote To Kill a Mockingbird.
Please catch it with your left hand. I can't, sir. Why can't you? I can't use my left hand at all.
Harper Lee was 89 and stirred controversy last year with the unexpected release of a second book with the same characters from a very different point of view. The body of Justice Antonin Scalia now lying in repose at the U.S. Supreme Court, where Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern is live.
Thousands of mourners have started their way into the Great Hall to pay final respects to Justice Antonin Scalia. He will lie in repose all day, his casket on the famous Lincoln catafalque, a casket stand used since for many dignitaries. As the flag-draped casket arrived here at the court, nearly 100 former Scalia clerks lined the plaza. Hundreds of others were across the street as they stood nearly silent. Lisa.
Jared, his message appears to be resonating.
The members of Congress are not worried about the people making $9 an hour. They're not worrying about the kids who can't afford to go to college.
Bernie Sanders takes a 3-point national lead in a Fox News poll. Tomorrow's caucus day for Democrats in Nevada, primary day for Republicans in South Carolina, where Fox News Radio's Evan Brown is live in Columbia. Evan says that among the Republican candidates, there is a push for last-minute votes. Matriarch Barbara Bush taking the mic at some Jeb's rally in Spartanburg just a short time ago, while Ted Cruz was rallying with the Duck Dynasty star and taking aim at frontrunner Donald Trump.
It's easy to say, let's make America great again.
Polling data published over the past 24 hours shows Donald Trump, though, still leading the race in South Carolina and nationally. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
Runners should take proper precautions such as warming up and stretching to avoid injuries, but no one is immune. Running injuries usually happen when you push yourself too hard or ignore pre-existing conditions. The way your body moves also plays a role. Neurospine Institute's Runners Clinic is conveniently located right here in Tracktown, USA. Their team of professionals can help you avoid common injuries and treat those that already exist. Using specialized diagnostic techniques and software, they will examine your movement patterns and implement a plan of care to improve performance and reduce pain.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
Marathon meetings as an EU summit continues while Britain weighs an upcoming decision on whether to stay in the European Union. Fox News Radio's Simon Owen is live in our European bureau.
Lisa, that summit of EU leaders was supposed to have finished by now, but it's still going on, and leaders have been advised to extend their hotel bookings.
We've made some progress, but there's still no deal.
British Prime Minister David Cameron, who is attempting to secure a package of EU reforms ahead of a referendum in the UK on quitting the bloc. An agreement was supposed to be finalised over a leaders' breakfast earlier, but when that didn't happen, they rescheduled for a lunch, and now we hear the plan is for a dinner, or at this rate, maybe even a leisurely weekend brunch tomorrow. Lisa?
Thanks, Simon. The U.S. targets another ISIS terrorist in Libya. Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon.
Multiple U.S. officials who I've spoken to this morning say they are reasonably confident that the U.S. airstrike was successful. An ISIS training camp 50 miles west of the Libyan capital. The target, Noureddin Shushin, a Tunisian national who was an ISIS recruiter. In May 2015, Tunisian authorities named Shushin as a suspect in a deadly attack on the Bardo Museum in Tunis that killed 22 people. He is also believed to be behind the attack on a beachfront hotel in Tunisia last June.
Meantime, Turkey's president says authorities don't have the slightest doubt a Syrian Kurdish militia group carried out this week's deadly suicide car bombing in Ankara. And he says Turkey's saddened by the failure of the U.S. and other Western allies to brand the group a terror organization. The main Kurdish militia in Syria has denied involvement. Late word from a Texas judge that the case of the so-called affluenza teenager will be moved to adult court. This in connection with a probation violation probe. And Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
$11:20 KPNW. So the good news is it's a Friday, and it's good news for me. But if you wanted to get out there and rejoice and take the dog out and do some skateboarding, it's going to be a little windy, a little rainy today. Thunderstorm, possibly high of 48 with gusts up to 30 here locally. Talking about 40 to 50 mile an hour winds on the Oregon coast. So just batten down. Showers.
Kite weather.
Cloudy, 35 overnight, partly sunny tomorrow. Good looking day tomorrow, but then back to the rain on Sunday.
Kite weather if you have steel cables for your kite.
Right.
Yeah.
And some heavy weights.
Yeah.
47 currently at 11:20 KPNW.
Okay, so the deal is we this week we've been nominating people and getting them at least set up to where they have a chance to win a round-trip pass for two on Amtrak Cascades to go up to the Portland International Film Festival, 4 tickets to said film festival, and a couple $100 in Shiloh Inn goodness, so you've got someplace to stay. All right, so we want to thank the folks at Amtrak Cascades for helping us out on this, where, by the way, right now you can travel between Portland and Eugene and anywhere in between on Amtrak Cascades and save 30% on fares when you book and travel by May 31st. So go to Amtrak.com, see what happens for details on that. So here's what we're going to give you as a prize right now. So you call up, you win this prize, then you go into the drawing for the ultimate grand prize, which is the goodness from Amtrak Cascades. So, and if you've won in the last 30 days, give somebody else a chance to win. All right, this is from Gunrunner Arms in Junction City. All right, where next weekend they're having their big anniversary celebration with Habitat for Humanity on hand, where you can donate to their annual garage sale. It is a metallic cartridge reloading course. So if you've thought about reloading your own cartridges for whatever it is that you like to shoot, well, this is a way that you can learn how to do that, see if it's right for you. It's a pretty extensive course, and so we're going to give you one of these. You just have to answer this question. Are you ready? Are you ready for the question? Which shotgun, and I'm just going to go for brand, you don't have to get into model number, which shotgun was commonly used by the U.S. military in the 2000s? Okay. Again, you just need a brand name. I'm not going to go into the model number. Okay, this is the U.S. military. What brand of shotgun was the U.S. military using in the 2000s? What do you think it might be? 541-485-5769. That's 541-485-5769 or 888-576-9888. If you can answer the question, well, let's go to the phones. Hey, you have an answer for me this morning?
Just a wild guess. Ithaca.
Ithaca is... It would be right if you were talking about World War II.
Oh.
Sorry.
Brownie.
Nice try. Thanks a lot. Hi, KPNW.
Hey there. Is it Remington?
It's not Remington. Thanks. Don't forget, if you've won in the last 30 days, give somebody else a chance to win. Hi, KPNW.
Morning, guys.
Hi.
Mossberg?
Correct.
All right.
Okay, so for extra credit, and the extra credit will get you some Burrito Amigos and an ugly mug. Can you name the model?
No. I don't think so.
All right, well, so you win and you lose.
Yeah.
What's your name?
This is Frank Travis.
Hi, Frank. Okay,
Hi, guys.
yeah, it was the Mossberg. You get the stuff from Gunrunner Arms, the metallic cartridge reloading course, and you're going to go into the drawing that we're going to do a little bit later on here for the round trip on Amtrak. So
That sounds great.
All right, so we're going to have you hang on. Rob's going to get some information from you. Appreciate you calling. As always, one of the 15. It is 8:09. News coming up next here on KPNW.
In the morning, when you're on the run, stop and eat at Burrito Amigos. One of Burrito Amigos' little-known facts is that you can get the Burrito Amigos breakfast platter. Once you've ordered it, you need to start making decisions. Are you going to have bacon, link sausage, chorizo, or chili verde? And how are those eggs going to be cooked? Over easy, scrambled, kind of hard, sunny side up, or some other way? Then you wait a minute or so, and it's all served up with potatoes, cheese, beans, and corn tortillas. Once someone smiling delivers the Burrito Amigos platter, it's breakfast on. It's a quick, tasty, inexpensive sit-down meal. It's only $7.50, or do it meatless for $6.50 if you want to get all vegetarian first thing in the morning. Since their name is Burrito Amigos, a big old breakfast burrito isn't out of the question, with your choice of bacon, sausage, chorizo, machaca, or huevos rancheros in junior or adult size. As Burrito Amigos' biggest fan, I vote adult, the large one. It holds more bacon. Burrito Amigos in Springfield and Eugene. Stop and eat breakfast. I'm Bill London, Burrito Amigos fan, and I approve this message.
Sun Automotive is proud to sponsor the Northwest edition of Lars Larson. Sun Automotive, with locations in Eugene and Springfield, reminds you, stay safe on the road, keep your car well maintained, and don't text and drive. Sun Automotive.
How precious and tiny, how little and sweet. We thought we would have you forever to keep. These are the first lines of a poem I wrote for the funeral of my nephew, who was born asleep at just over 8 months gestation. We never got to hear him cry or see him smile. No family should know this kind of pain. That's why I'm committed to helping March of Dimes in their mission to end preterm birth. As a participant in the March of Dimes High Heels for High Hopes event here in Eugene on February 24th, my goal is to raise $10,000.
You can help my friend Tab by making a tax-deductible donation. Go to kpnw.com and click on the link.
For 42 years, Serenity Lane has served as a leader in the treatment of alcohol and drug addiction. With continuing demand for services, we are building a new campus in Coburg, Oregon, allowing us to double our capacity and increase the number of residential beds in the state of Oregon by almost 20%. Addiction knows no boundaries. It negatively affects our neighbors, our families, and our friends. Join us this coming March as we celebrate the grand opening of our new campus. Learn more at serenitylane.org.
This message is brought to you in association with Ears. You'll hear it here first. This is your wake-up call on News Radio 1120. KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on.
It's going to lead to layoffs. It's going to lead to reduced hours.
A bill to increase Oregon's minimum wage is now headed to the governor for her signature. She, on her part, has said she will do so. Brad Ford reports the debate was stopped by protesters and slowed, only briefly, by Republicans.
As debate on the minimum wage bill was underway, demonstrators entered the House chamber. Representative Gail Whitsett.
It is so loud in the back, it's impossible to hear anything with the stomping.
Speaker Tina Kotek called in help to remove them.
State troopers are handling this.
Republicans made motions trying to divert the bill to Ways and Means for a financial review and arguing it'll force an increase in pay for lawmakers.
I'm not voting myself a pay raise.
Speaker Kotek says Democrats don't believe that's true.
You have differing legal opinions on this.
After several hours of debate, the Democratic majority won the day, passing the bill and sending it to the governor. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
So the bill is expected to increase wages gradually over the next 6 years. By 2022, the state's current $9.25 an hour minimum, already one of the highest in the nation, will turn into $14.75 in the metro Portland area, $13.50 in cities like Salem and Eugene, as well as Deschutes County, and $12.50 in rural communities, including Jefferson and Crook counties. Now, of course, like our current minimum wage, it will also be tapped with the cost of living, so there will be increases on top of that as well. By no means is $14.75 or $13.50 a ceiling. Now, House Democrats on Thursday also rejected Republican efforts to remove the emergency clause that would allow foes to gather signatures to refer the plan to voters. Democrats desperately did not want the voters to get their hands on this because they were not sure that Oregon voters would accept it. They wanted to pay off the unions who have been trying to force their hand to accept these drastically higher minimum wages. Two University of Oregon fraternities have announced that they're going to begin accepting transgender men into their groups for the first time. Delta Upsilon and Delta Tau Delta representatives say they plan to reach out to gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transsexual students on the Eugene campus. Their announcement puts them in line with a handful of other fraternities nationwide that have pledged to include transgender members. Henry Corman of Delta Upsilon says the frat is looking to change frat culture to become more inclusive. Delta Tau Delta's Eugene chapter president, Alec Malnati, says he hopes the fraternity will provide a social space for people to feel like they belong. Representatives from both fraternities say they hope the university's 17 other fraternities will change as well. Eugene officials are asking for the public's input on proposed rule changes that would prohibit smoking and flying drones at city parks. Eugene Parks and Open Space Director Craig Carnegie says the new rules could take effect as early as April if the city adopts those final rules. The public comment period ends March 3rd. The proposed smoking ban would put Eugene in line with other Lane County cities that have outlawed tobacco use at their parks like Cottage Grove and Veneta. The state also implemented a smoking ban in January of 2015 at its parks. Carnegie says the restrictions on drones and model airplanes have come in response to complaints from park users over privacy and safety concerns. The proposed ban would apply to all city parks with the exception of the park blocks downtown. Investigators believe a body that was found in a wooded area outside of Cottage Grove earlier this week may be that of a man who disappeared last year. John Gerald was last seen alive in late September as he was getting gas in Cottage Grove for his Chevy Blazer. Now, that vehicle was found last Sunday near Bryce Creek Road. Searchers using a cadaver dog found a decomposed but clothed body Tuesday in a heavily wooded area about a mile from the vehicle. A wallet discovered on the body had Gerald's identification. Now, confirmation of identity is still pending a medical examiner's review. At this time, foul play is not suspected. One of the people arrested for occupying the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge is suing the federal government, claiming damages caused by Satan. Brad Ford reports.
Shauna Cox has filed a lawsuit for $666,666,666,666.66, claiming those are the damages from works of the devil. The document was filed in U.S. District Court. She also says they didn't prevent government employees from working at the refuge during the occupation, and the state and federal employees tried to execute her and the other occupiers. The judge tossed out her lawsuit, saying it's not part of the federal case against Cox. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Police are looking for a jewel thief in the Mid-Valley who's hit a number of stores. According to Springfield Police Sergeant David Lewis, 2 crimes happened in one day this week. Lewis said that at about 4:20 Wednesday afternoon, a man asked to see a ring at a jewelry store that was worth about $5,000. Once he had his hands on the ring, he bolted from the store. Not long after that, in the 5 o'clock hour, a similar crime was reported at the Albany Fred Meyer store. The suspect there, and in both crimes, described as a black male, 5'10", about 180 pounds, wearing a dark blue fishing-style hat and a red hooded sweatshirt with blue lettering. Police say similar robbery attempts have taken place in Salem and in Portland, including 5 attempts at the Fred Meyer store there in the last 3 days. Anyone with information has to contact police. Apple is fighting to keep the government from forcing it to break into an iPhone. Brad Ford reports
One Oregon senator agrees.
Apple has been ordered by a judge to get information out of an iPhone that was owned by one of the San Bernardino shooters. Apple says if they do that, the ability will become public. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, says that's a dangerous precedent.
When you do that, that gets into the hands of bad guys as well as good guys.
Wyden says the government has no business compelling a company to hack into someone's private phone. If that happens, it could result in criminals or other governments getting the software to do the same thing. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, if you're over 21 and you have some extra time this summer, here's an idea you might want to consider. You can actually volunteer at the Oregon Coast Aquarium. Officials at the Newport facility are looking for volunteers to help out around the aquarium this summer, acting as ambassadors. The free 6-week program will be included in that, and it'll cover the coastal and marine fauna of Oregon. Then after you graduate the 6-week program, you'll be a volunteer, spending a few hours every week hanging out at exhibits and sharing your knowledge with aquarium guests. Officials say an average of more than 400,000 people visit that aquarium every year. Volunteers will get behind-the-scenes tours, discounts, and free membership to the aquarium. And if you're interested, you still have to apply. You can do that by March 21st. Finally, this morning, Seaside students are trying a national letter campaign in hopes that celebrities, politicians, and business owners will help them raise money to move their schools out of the path of a destructive tsunami. Since last fall, student leaders have been trying to raise $200 million, that's right, $200 million, to relocate multiple district schools to higher ground in light of a predicted mega earthquake and subsequent tsunami. A bond measure to relocate the schools failed miserably in 2013, so the students decided they'd get involved. It's going to take $200 million. So far, they've raised $5,000. It's 8:20. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Neil O'Shea and the Portland Trailblazers, powers that are, give themselves passing grades, calling their activity during the trade deadline day sexy. Nobody from their core had to pack bags. Biggest move involved Anderson Varejao from Cleveland coming to Portland in a 3-team deal. Then as quickly as that, Varejao waived to pick up a first-round pick in 2018. Then Portland picked up backup guard Brian Roberts from the Heat. Blazers had to waive backup guard Tim Frazier to make room. These were future moves, and the immediate impact player like a Blake Griffin or a Greg Monroe didn't happen. 3-team deal did produce a change for Channing Frye as he goes from Orlando to Cleveland. Trailblazers, by the way, attempt to shake off the All-Star break with a date tonight against Steph Curry and the 48-4 Golden State Warriors. Good luck with that. To golf, Jordan Spieth proved he was human at the Northern Trust Open on Thursday. The number one player in the world shot an opening round 8 over 79, which is the third worst score of his illustrious PGA Tour career. Camilo Villegas in his first round performance fired a 63 to be the first round leader. ESPN.com features a piece on Sheridan Hawkins, the Oregon pitcher, and how she's the ticket potentially to another national title run. Her career record, 86 wins, 17 losses. By the way, most wins of any active pitcher in softball. The softball Ducks are 5-1. They lost to number 17 Kentucky. They travel pretty much all over Nevada, California, and Seattle before they open things up in their new stadium on March 24th. Ducks are currently ranked 5th. Busy week at Matthew Knight for the Oregon basketball teams. Jillian Deline plays her last regular season games at home tonight and Sunday. Sandwiched in the middle on Saturday, Civil War revenge for the men. Go Ducks. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW News Time, 8:22.
Your KPNW weather brought to you by Mattress Mania, where the side effect of saving like crazy may cause excessive high-fiving and a permanent smile.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're already out on these roads, be careful. The heaviest storm system of the week, the third one in a row, is moving in with moderate showers. We could even see a few sparks of lightning out there. Some of the energy is fairly unstable. Otherwise, right now, temps are in the low 40s. Mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the south at 5 to 10. Those are going to ramp up as this storm system and cold front moves through over the next couple of hours. Now, as we move into the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies look to dominate across the region with very little breaks in these clouds. And thanks to the strength of the cold front, highs will only be in the upper 40s across most of the region, meaning it'll only go up a few more degrees. Now, these winds will be 15 to 20, some gusts up to 30, but out on the coast, gusts could be as high as 50 or 60. Now, there is a silver lining to all this. A pocket of high pressure will move in late tonight, bringing us a very nice Saturday with partly cloudy skies and temps back into the 50s, but even that is short-lived as another storm system moves in for your Sunday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic Friday.
Thank goodness it's Sherry's Prime Rib Friday. It's time to treat yourself with a premium cut of succulent prime rib. Choose from 2 sizes for big or small appetites. We serve it up herb-crusted or blackened, both tender and juicy, with a bottle of Northwest wine that's only half price. However you order your Sherry's Prime Rib, you'll be thankful it's Friday. Come in tonight with family and friends and see what's new at Sherry's Cafe and Pies.
How big is Rite Aid's Big Point event? Plenty big. The more participating products you buy with Wellness Plus with Plenty, the more Plenty points you earn through February 27th. Earn 2,000 points when you spend $100, another $1,500 when you get to $150, and yet another $1,500 at $200. That's up to 5,000 Plenty points worth at least $50 in savings, only at Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. Earning based on total purchases from $131 to $227.16. Limit 5,000 Plenty points per card. Plenty is a rewards program. Terms and conditions apply. See plenty.com/terms for details.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm 1 out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger.
Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help.
Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Tired of long wait times and high prices at your local boat repair shop? The Boat Dock LLC Marine Repair in Springfield has the fastest turnover. With state-of-the-art test equipment and on-site test tank, the jobs are done right the first time. From simple tune-ups and water pumps to complete repowers on all types of marine power boats, the Boat Dock LLC is the shop to visit at 1252 30th Street in Springfield, a Better Business Bureau accredited business. Visit their website at eugeneboatrepair.com. That's eugeneboatrepair.com.
So a couple minutes ago, we were talking about things going on for the weekend, and I think there's kind of like an always permanent idea that you get to catch up on your rest, do some sleep, maybe read a book, a little nap, a little siesta. And if there isn't, like if you don't just automatically kind of put that into the weekend to-do list, maybe you need to upgrade in the mattress department, because maybe that bed is just not calling you. It's giving you a whimper when you need an exclamation, a big throaty, get in here, and take some rest out on me. Sleep Train right now, the President's Day sale going to be ending in a couple of hours. Sunday is the last day you can get there to experience 4 years interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic and Beauty Rest Black Hybrid. By the way, a Sleep Train exclusive. On approved credit with up to 48 equal monthly payments required. There's a lot of places you can go, and if you're in the mattress investigation part of your life, go there first. Go there first and see how you're treated, see about the knowledge and just, their variety. They got it there at Sleep Train.
Yep, Sleep Train. You know where you're going to find him? Corvallis, Albany, Eugene, Springfield, and just about every place else that has a population over about 4. Tell them Bill and Rod from the Wake Up Call sent you, please.
And now, more Wake Up Call. Have no fear. From the Whitmer Brothers Studios.
I'm out of ideas. Anyone?
It's News Radio 1120. KPNW.
827. News Radio 1120 KPNW. They kick off things on the road, but we still got to get ready, get prepared for the baseball season, because they will be there PK before you know it. And George Horton had a chance to catch up with him before they boarded and got down there to San Diego. George Horton on the wake-up call. Oregon baseball coach George Horton about to embark on his 8th season with the Ducks baseball program. Just announced as the manager of the collegiate national team, and he joined us getting ready to kick off the regular season with San Diego State there. Coach, welcome back to the wake-up call. Great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me on.
And congratulations on the managerial position with the national team. Take us behind the scenes. I mean, what is that, as far as an extra workload, what is that going to mean for you?
Well, it's probably at this point, it's once a week, maybe a little bit more of a conference call and checking and reaching out to people. Of course, we've got a great staff and trying to get our active board of players who we're considering to make that last invite in June, right around the College World Series time, to have a few days of practice and get ready for our tour. I have a guy named Eric Campbell that kind of serves as the general manager, and I'm a supporting cast for that. And then we've got our staff named, including a gentleman named Dave Snow, my ex-colleague that I used to work with, that is one of our professional liaisons, and he's not coaching any longer. So out of all of us coaches that are actually investing most of our energy, if not all of our energy, into our teams.
Sure.
Dave Snow will have some time to reach out to people around the country. Also are on board with the Team USA effort, as you can imagine. We've got scouting directors and a gentleman named Chuck Fox that represents Major League Baseball, and Major League Baseball is a funding source for the USA Baseball and the collegiate national team. So I've got an extensive list of very, very qualified people to try to make the right decisions as we put the team together. And it's quite an honor to represent your country, as you can imagine, and very humbling that I've been named and representing the University of Oregon, named the head coach for the collegiate national team this summer.
Well, you said head coach, although in many of the articles I saw you referred to as a manager. So why would you be a coach for Oregon and a manager for Team USA?
Yeah, good question. And why do baseball managers wear uniforms? We're the only sport that does that, to my knowledge. And it's not always a pretty sight when you're 60 years old or whatever to be in a uniform next to these hard-bodied athletes that we get to coach. So.
Talking to Coach George Horton with the Oregon Ducks. So, out of curiosity, you talked about the baseball team selection. What kind of vetting do you have to do if you want to take somebody from Oregon? I mean, do you have to kind of cross that with some of the other personnel before? I mean, because you could probably, you don't want to be there's the favoritism and things like that where people kind of might shake their head, or does that come into play at all?
Oh yeah, sure. We have 3 guys on the board, and I'm very proud to say, and they're going to have to earn that and prove that. And it's always better when somebody else says, "Hey, coach, what about your whatever? Shortstop, catcher, pitcher, da-da-da-da-da-da." And you certainly want to. You'd always like to be correct and not overlook somebody else from another program. But when it represents your own program, you certainly don't want to be accused of that bias and tunnel vision that you eliminated somebody that was worthy of playing on behalf of one of your own players, and the selfishness there. So we'll try to be open-minded and not too biased. But then the other part of that is the consistency of having your own players, and how they react when the pressure's on, or your system is an advantage when you're trying to put together an all-star team, so to speak, and compete with the likes of Cuba and Japan and be competitive. Just like most of my staff or people that I've worked with over the years, that's a good thing to be familiar with our coaching staff, so the left hand and right hand know what they're doing at most of the time anyway.
Wasn't Steven on last Team USA?
Steven
Nagosic?
Yes. He had a good summer, and he's draft eligible, so he's not a guy. What we try to base our selection process is basically the freshman and sophomore classes.
Right.
Most of the guys, if not all the guys that are on our board right now, are sophomore and not draft eligible guys. And again, we're working in conjunction with Major League Baseball, so we don't want to get in their way of their professional draft. And so the collegiate national team typically is all made up of underclassmen, freshmen, and sophomores that are not draft eligible.
Just wanted to give him his due since he did make the last team.
Absolutely.
So if you had to pick between injury and the MLB draft as most destructive and the biggest obstacle for, say, the program here at Oregon, which would you pick of the two?
Major League Baseball draft, no question about it. But then it's a level playing field across the country. For most of us, I guess. There's, some of the real elite academic institutions, i.e. Stanford and Vanderbilt and Rice and those type of places that tend to get more higher drafts that end up going to school because of their socioeconomical situation at home sometimes and their academic excellence and the ability to stretch the scholarship dollar, so to speak, where they're, because of private money and academic money, they're able to have more guys on more money than most people across the country, and that makes a difference when a guy says no to not necessarily life-changing money, but the money that the pros are passing out, and they end up with more guys on campus. But so we all have to deal with it, and sometimes you luck out, and a couple guys say no to the draft that you thought you were going to lose, but most of the time, pretty much your November commits, so to speak, it's pretty decimated when the June draft rolls around.
Yeah, I kind of thought you were going to go that direction, and I was thinking, is there any kind of formula or anything that you look for as far as a player who you think maybe has, I don't know, maybe the attitude or the inspiration to want to be a champion at Oregon that could stick around and kind of forego the dollars? If there's anything that you've seen that's worked over the years that would keep a player potentially playing collegiate.
Oh yeah, the obvious thing is that their family has a lot of money. And it's when you say life-changing money, sometimes $200,000 to a person that's living in a trailer with a single mom and two siblings is life-changing for them, and $200,000 to somebody that his breadwinner as a CEO of a company is not life-changing for them. They don't need the money, and it's just a case of the best timing and when they should sign. And then certainly their commitment to academics and getting to a degree, and then their understanding and commitment to that they, there's no question that everybody that, not everybody, 99% of the guys I've coached over the years, if you ask them, do you want to play pro ball, their hand goes up. And, it's just a question of when do you sign that document? Do you start your professional career out of high school, out of junior college, or do you take what I think is the smartest route? You go after your college experience, and either you have your degree in your hand or you're very close to your degree. Now you go out and test the waters to find out if you're a Major League Baseball player. That takes a very confident individual to say, I'm still going to be a prospect after 3 years, and it enhances my chances of playing the big leagues. And I feel very confident that opportunity is not going to go away, and the money's still going to be there in the 3 years. And so you do some educated guessing, and it increases your chances of being correct, but it's not the cure-all, end-all, because when somebody offers a kid $1.5 million, which is kind of our number, that becomes a little bit life-changing money, and we shake their hand and wish them good luck, and they go off and play pro ball.
When you say your number, is that the number that you kind of espouse to the team? That's what you need to go for at minimum? Is that what you mean by that?
Well, there's a formula that smarter people than I have, all kinds of statistical data and the whole history of the draft and what's your earning power with a college degree in your hand over the next 30 years. And it's a whole formula and an equation that one of the best agencies out there, and I'm not going to name them necessarily, but they provided us with the statistical data, and their advisement to the kids and to the families is this is the point where you start. Anything less than that, their opinion is you're better off going to college. And of course, then it takes the courage of the family to understand that and believe that, and then, of course, commit to that. And but you have ranges where kids panic. They see that dream going away, and they'll take $50,000 to sign. That's after Uncle Sam gets his part, that's not going to make they might have a car at the end of 4 years, but that's basically all they're going to have.
Talking to Coach Horton, Ducks are picked fourth behind OSU, number one. Is that about right? Is that where you think that you kind of could see, the majority of the coaches kind of looking at the talent bank and picking the Ducks. And how do you keep the team from being affected positively or negatively from preseason hype and polls and attention?
Well, to answer your question, is that about right? Of course, we think our potential might be to be in the thick of things and be in the race for conference champion. Easier said than done, and we haven't played one game yet. You deal with expectations, and are we ranked too high or too low or those type of things. And those are all things that we can't control. What we can control is our effort each and every day, and what we can control is doing our very, very best to be the best coaching staff and on my behalf with my assistants, and every day the kids wake up, they can try to have a championship effort each and every day to become the best player and teammate and student that they can possibly be. And those are controllable things that are short-term goals. And the long-term goals of success, I think, are a summation of all short-term goals and what you do on a daily basis. And that's our culture. That's our process. That's what we believe in. It's nice to be recognized, but that's really beyond our control. And it's interesting reading. And Omaha is not until the middle of June, and the championship of the Pac-12 race. Well, you could probably look at the standings in early May and decide who are the contenders. And what we hope to be is a contender in early May, and then let's see what May and June brings to the table for the 2016 Oregon Ducks.
Before we let you go, we got to talk about the pitching staff, because at least on paper, you got Cole coming back, Cole Irvin, and you got some players to work with Matt getting the Golden Spikes Award nomination. Pitching staff seems to be pretty strong.
Yes, great potential, as you said. 3 very, very good left-handed arms we're going to start the season with. We think they've got the ability to be very, very good and very, very competitive and give us a chance to win each and every game. We've got a closer named Steven Nagosic that's on the national stuff watch list, closer of the year type thing, and up and down through our lineup and our roster. The assistant coaches have done a tremendous job of recruiting very fine baseball players, and most importantly, great kids. And right now, it's easy to have good chemistry, but it looks like their work ethic's in place, the culture's in place, and we're real anxious to see, what this first weekend and this barometer of success will bring us, and all the hard work, and take it week by week. But we're very encouraged that we've got a team laden with great potential.
Before we let you go, as we watch you throughout the season, anything out there, any good luck charms, any rituals that you find yourself doing or you've done for years that even the most ardent fan might not know about?
Well, I'm a baseball manager or coach, head coach, whatever way you want to say it. But, I think baseball is probably the most superstitious sport that there is, to my knowledge. And I've got my lucky things and lucky pencil, and I put my uniform on a certain way, and there's certain routines that I believe in that have worked over the years. And when those aren't working, then we switch it up and get a new pencil or what have you. But absolutely, I think myself and my staff and probably several of the team have a lot of superstitious things.
Okay, so a week from Thursday is going to be the Oregon fans' first time to see them play at home, and that's going to be Illinois State. Is there any game before the Pac-12 season, any team that's coming that you'll be playing that the fans should definitely come out and watch? Is there a team that you got circled?
Well, we've got a great preseason schedule. I think one of the interesting ones is our third weekend at home, UC Santa Barbara, and that's my old pitching coach, recruiting coordinator, Andrew Checketts, is now the head coach at UC Santa Barbara. One of his assistants is a kid named Neil Walton that played for me at Cal State Fullerton. And so that will be a familiar series, and Andrew's done a great job of developing that program, and I think they're in a top 25 type team. They're on the outside edge of that right now, and that'll be a good one. And San Diego State, this opening weekend down there will be a tough one. They've got an improved program, and as I said, everybody's always looking at that first weekend to kind of get a barometer of how you stand, what you need to improve on. So, but I think for the fans, the March 4th, 5th, and 6th series against UC Santa Barbara would be a fun one to come see.
Good enough. Coach, go get him in San Diego. We're big fans here on the Wake Up Call, and we'll definitely maybe check out throughout the season. We'll check in with you.
Sounds great, Rob.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
8:43.
It's the latest wake-up call market news. This is the KPNW Business Report.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are lower in early trading following crude prices into the red, pairing the strongest weekly gains this year. Investors are reassessing the path for interest rates after data showed stirring signs of inflation in the U.S. Right now, the Dow is down 120 points or 0.75% at 16,297. The S&P is down 14 at 1903, and the Nasdaq is lower by 28 points or 0.6% at 44.58. Crude oil is lower. It's at $29.65 a barrel. That represents a decline today of 3.6%. Investors are scrutinizing economic data for any signs that slower growth abroad is spreading. A report today shows the cost of living in the U.S., excluding food and fuel, rose in January by the most in more than 4 years. The gains were broad-based. Once again, the Dow now down 121 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Did you know optimistic people are twice as likely to have ideal heart health? Now is a great time to feed your optimism. Reach out to someone who inspires you to stay healthy. Snap a picture together and share it on Facebook with the hashtag HeartHappy. For more tangible help to live heart healthy, let Peace Health be your partner. We offer screenings, expertise on healthy eating and exercise, tobacco cessation, and more. Visit peacehealth.org/heart to learn more.
Ramjack has your foundation solution. Ramjack can fix that.
CCB 146906.
Thank you for all who came to the 13th Annual Affair of the Heart. It was a great evening with lots of laughs, fantastic information about living a healthy life, lots of shopping, fashion shows, food, wine, martinis, and friends. If you missed it, mark your calendars now for the same time, same place next year. Special thanks to Mackenzie Willamette Medical Center, River Road Health Mart Pharmacy, all the participating businesses, and all of the wonderful women who attended. See you next year at Affair of the Heart 2017.
Join the Junction City Habitat for Humanity at Gunrunner Arms birthday celebration Saturday, February 27th. Habitat for Humanity will be collecting your new or used items for their giant spring garage sale coming up April 15th and 16th. You can donate everything from working used appliances to clothes, toys, dressers, tools, power equipment, just about everything, with the exception of upholstered furniture and mattresses. All donations tax deductible. Drop off your donation items for the JC Habitat for Humanity Saturday the 27th at Gunrunner Arms on Highway 99 and 36 in Junction City.
KPNW weather brought to you by Mattress Mania in Albany, Eugene, Springfield, and Corvallis. Save like crazy.
Good Friday morning to you and yours. If you're headed out in the next few minutes, take your umbrella. We've got another storm system moving in, the third one of this week, and this looks to be the strongest. Now, we do have mostly cloudy skies, light showers now. Those will become moderate to heavy over the next couple of hours, and the winds are light, south 5 to 10, but they'll ramp up out of the south-southwest at 15 to 20, gusts up to 30, and out on the coast, we could see gusts as high as 50 or 60. Now, we're expecting about a half inch along the I-5, a full inch along the coast. As we move into your afternoon, though, the cold front will limit the highs into the upper 40s, so it's only going to go up a few degrees. Mostly cloudy skies look to continue thinning out late tonight. Now, there is a silver lining in all this. A ridge of high pressure will move in for your Saturday, bringing partly cloudy skies, if not mostly sunny by the afternoon, but even that'll be short-lived as the next storm system is right behind that, starting to move in Saturday night into your Sunday. If you're going to do something outdoors, plan to do it Saturday. Sunday's looking wet. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
.847 News Radio 1120 KPNW. You hear him giving the advice to get out there Saturday because of the nice weather. Well, you can go Sunday to the Land Event Center, and it's going to be sunny and warm and brilliant inside especially with the Asian celebration kicking off tomorrow. Arden, and this is, I don't know, how many years have we had you on to talk about it? It's like your third or fourth?
Yep, I think it's like the 4th year, maybe.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. It's always great being here.
You've been like kind of doing the media tour. You did some TV, and now you saved the best for last. I hope you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I was just next door, like 10 minutes ago.
So, for somebody who's not been to the Asian celebration, I find that kind of laughable, but kind of through your eyes, because you see it, you see everything and a lot of things behind the scenes. Talk about what it is.
Well, it's a cultural event, so we say that it's the cheapest ticket to go to Asia without leaving the country. So there's a lot of food, there's a lot of there's a marketplace, there's a lot of martial arts demonstrations, dancing, and music, and lots of activities for kids.
And Star Wars characters.
Yes, and Star Wars characters.
It's big in Asian culture, isn't it? It goes back many, many thousands of years.
Exactly.
Back to the Darth dynasty.
The celebration for me is a little bit Pavlovian, because when I start thinking about it, my mouth starts watering, because the food is really, it has to be one of the marquee stars, I would think.
It is, and it's my favorite part of the celebration.
Okay, so of that, what's your favorite booth? I mean, is there one in particular that you like?
Come on, you have to.
Everyone keeps asking me, because I don't have one favorite, because they all taste so good, All
right, well, mention one at least that people typically, if they're around this area, are not going to get that type of food.
Let's see. The Indian food is really good. There's Indonesian, because I don't think we have an Indonesian restaurant, but there's an Indonesian booth, so that's good.
What are they caterers? I mean, how did they come to be?
I think they're just the Indonesian community, and then they cook up a bunch of Indonesian cuisine.
Bring out a Coleman stove, and voila, you have yourself a food vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Exactly, and I think they just come for the Asian celebration. So,
talk about the entertainment.
Oh, the entertainment. There's so many. There's like the little kids from the Japanese immersion school wearing like their little costumes. And then there's, Malaysian dancers. I think we even have some entertainers from Afghanistan. Did you know that there's like 50 countries in Asia?
No.
Yeah, I didn't
To be
know
honest
that.
with you, I did not realize
I didn't know that either. I should know, but I thought it was maybe like a couple dozen. But yeah, it's like 50 countries. So there's like such a wide array of different cultures that you can see.
48, say 48. You think?
Yeah, about 48.
48 represented.
Yeah.
Over the. Who are the two that get the big stiff arm? Do you know? That'd be a great trivia question.
Who are the two that what?
Who are
Get the big stiff arm. Yeah. What two
the
Asian countries will not be represented at the festival?
Right. Yeah, you have to Google that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so talk about the hours and the admission and all the particulars.
Okay, so it's from 10 to 6, Saturday and Sunday, and then it's free for kids under 12. But if you're 13 and over and you're a student, even a college student, if you go to Oregon Community Credit Union and show your ID, they'll give you a free pass. And then it's $6 a day or $10 for 2 days.
Pretty good, right? And the hours?
10 to 6 on Saturday, and I think 10 to 5 on Sunday.
Check out the website.
Yeah, check out the website at asiancelebration.org.
Close to that.
Just make a note to yourself. Okay, next time I go on, I should know the hours.
I know, I should.
I'm giving you a bad time.
I know, but there's a kind of an insider tip. On Sunday, if you come in at 4, admission is free. But you can sample all the food. All the entertainers will probably be gone, but the food will still be there.
Okay, so for those of you that want to be just a glutton, then Sunday is the day to go.
And they're open till 6 on Sunday.
Oh, there you go.
So
and
you would get actually 2 hours.
2 hours of gluttony for free.
There you go.
2 free hours of just stuff in your face. Excellent.
Yep.
Anything else? What else? Is there anything that, any other insider tips?
We have the passport for the kids.
Okay.
So like I said, it's like traveling to Asia without leaving the country. So the passport, you go to all these different booths, and then you get a stamp, and then when you get all the stamps done, then you get a prize in the end. And then there's a carnival I think it's like a Japanese carnival area, and then there's a children's room where they can do all sorts of crafts. It's great. I mean, I think it's fun for the whole family.
Wow.
Typically, how many people every year does this attract to the local area?
On average, I think we've had I think it's about 15,000 a weekend.
It's a nice chunk of people.
Yeah, well, because we have people coming from Washington, California, Idaho.
I think 7,000 of that are from the martial art classes. That come up.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's so many different kinds of martial arts too. You know, it's not.
It's pretty cute to see them up there in their gis.
Yes, yeah, and it's a wide range of ages too. It's not just the young kids. It's also like there's the Tai Chi and stuff.
Downhill or cross country gis?
Downhill.
Yeah.
You guys crack me up.
Hey, Arden, good luck, because I know I have a feeling like Sunday night you're not going to be as chipper because you're going to be like white spent.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but you know, all my kids. Well, actually, my 2 teenagers are all about it too. They're the lion dancers, and you know, they love it, and they volunteer for the photo booth, and I love that. I love that they're also volunteering as well and helping spread the word about our culture and everything.
So do you think that someday that you'll be able to say, okay, kids, you get to take over now, and you just kind of step into the background? And how cool is that?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I love about it, you know, because you want it's educational and fun. And, you know, I want to share that with my kids, and I love that they enjoy it too. And they look forward to it every year. Because every year I kind of get stressed, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it again. But then I think about, well, you know what? A lot of people look forward to this event, so, you know.
And it's turning 31.
Yeah, share the fun.
31st Annual Oregon Asian Celebration. Lane Event Center happening Saturday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Sunday 10 to 6. Arden, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on one sec, because we got to make somebody happy here. You want to be our lovely assistant?
Sure.
Have her pull our grand prize winner.
Actually, here, hold the box. Yeah, hold it up. Hold it up.
You want to talk about what you're doing?
Oh.
Okay, so here's what we are doing. We are giving away. Here, hold it up so I can't see. Hold it up. Okay. So I'm reaching in, and I am grabbing a name, and that person is going to win a round trip for 2 to Portland. Courtesy of Amtrak Cascades to go to the Portland International Film Festival, and we've also got lodging at Shiloh Inn for those 2 people. And so our winner is Mick. Mick is our winner. Mick, I think yesterday was the one that called in. I believe it was yesterday's winner. So Mick, congratulations, you're going up. We'll get you details on how you can pick your stuff up, and congratulations.
Way to go, Mick.
Way to go.
Can we get a way to go, Mick?
Can we get
way to go, Mick. Woohoo!
See, it sounds better when she says it. So now you are officially our prize goddess. So congratulations.
You're Vanna White.
Yeah. You're our Arden.
Aw.
You're better than Vanna. You're Arden. Anyway.
All right, so check out the Asian celebration. You got that this weekend, and of course the Frontier Heritage thing going on there as well. You can kind of pop in there as well. Have a great weekend, whatever you go do, and we'll check you back Monday to hear all about it. 6:05 right here on 1120 KPNW. Don't forget, a little stormy today, tomorrow, decent of the 3 days, Sunday back at the rain. That's all right. You're an Oregonian. Fuck up. We'll see you Monday.
Are some rooms hot while others are cold? Is mold an issue? I'm Josh from Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver. We'll provide a free home comfort and energy evaluation. Find the causes of these problems and fix them. Call Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver today at 248-1173. That's 248-1173. Or online at OregonEnergySaver.com.
Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver. We fix uncomfortable homes.
Hi, this is Bill London, and I can tell you from experience, dealing with a realtor can be a trying experience. Trying to sell my mom and dad's house recently, I would have liked to have had a realtor who up front would have told me not necessarily what I wanted to hear, but what I needed to hear. Like, for instance, that we really did need to put a new roof on the house. Otherwise, we were going to get beaten down on the price and some other things as well. Well, Eric Harpole is one of those realtors. He won't tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear to get the most out of your house.
I think when you sit down with Eric or anybody from his team, it's quickly apparent. I mean, they're serious, they know real estate, and they're not into filling the air with things that aren't true. Whether you're buying or selling or even thinking about doing either of those two, call the Harpole team at 541-286-3030. It will be the most refreshing conversation you ever had with a realtor. The Harpole Real Estate Group is changing the way real estate gets done here locally. 541-286-3030.
I'm home, honey.
In the den.
Are you sick?
No. I'm rehearsing.
What?
It's almost flu season. We need a flu drill. I'm going first.
Oh, you are something.
Could you rub my feet, change the TV channel, and bring me some pistachios and a beer?
Jerry.
Use the ice-cold mug in the freezer.
There is no need for a flu drill.
This is going to be a bad flu season.
Yeah, but we're not going to get the flu.
Like you can prevent that. The goddess of good health, huh?
No, I'm the one who scheduled flu shots for all of us.
You nuts. If we get the actual flu shot, we'll get the flu.
That is an old wives' tale. They no longer use the live virus. It's synthetic. We get the shot, and we remember to wash our hands and take other precautions, and we stay healthy and help stop the spread of germs.
Well, you and the kids do it. I'm not getting any shots.
Okay, then you just stay by yourself in the treehouse.
Treehouse?
Yeah, until flu season's over.
Okay, just don't hide the ladder this year.
We'll see.
This message is brought to you by Ears, because the Eugene area radio stations believe that supporting a healthy community makes a strong community.
The odds of this Alaskan-born pitcher being selected to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game 6 times? 1 in 48 million. The odds of this fast-balling philanthropist winning the World Series 3 times? 1 in 3 million. The odds of this man having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. Hi, I'm Kurt Schilling. Learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
We report, you decide. This is News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. To Kill a Mockingbird author Harper Lee has died. She was 89. Fox News Radio's Michelle Polino with this live.
Lisa, the novel To Kill a Mockingbird, published in 1961, a Pulitzer Prize, and was made into a film starring Gregory Peck.
I've been appointed to defend Tom Robinson. Now that he's been charged, that's what I intend to do.
The book's theme centered on racial injustice and the destruction of innocence. Literary scholars praise Lee's ability to address issues of race, class, and gender roles in the Deep South. Mockingbird, which to date sold more than 40 million copies, was Lee's only published book until Go Set a Watchman. An earlier draft of her famous book was published last year. Lisa.
Thanks, Michelle. One last day to win voters in South Carolina.
If they win, all of the policies Barack Obama has put in place which have damaged our country become permanent.
Marco Rubio focusing on the Democrats in November, as well as tomorrow's GOP primary. Ted Cruz keeping up the pressure on frontrunner Donald Trump.
The question to ask is, do you understand what made America great in the first place?
Trump is about to hold a Myrtle Beach rally. Bernie Sanders edging Hillary Clinton in a national Fox News poll ahead of tomorrow's Democrat caucuses in Nevada. The Texas teen who used an affluenza defense to avoid jail time in a deadly drunk driving case has just been ordered to adult court on charges of violating probation. Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso with this live.
Lisa, a Fort Worth, Texas judge rules that 18-year-old Ethan Couch, known as the affluenza teen, will have his case moved to adult court. He killed 4 people in a drunk driving crash in 2013 and was only given probation after a psychologist testified that he was too spoiled to know right from wrong. Probation that Couch later violated by failing to show up to his probation officer before he fled to Mexico in December. A judge will later decide on the terms of that probation. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. You're listening to Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
I have to get to sleep.
Tom had a stressful day, and now he can't shut down at bedtime.
Need sleep.